a sacrifice induced for the altar of your vanity. A jealous, hungry God, craving praises of profanity. With bedroom dark and dine, and a deep mouth stained with wine, it drinks its fill. It was your mothers, not your brothers, that agreed to feed you poison. This egregious lack of choice indeed seemed fit to join your voice in, with lies disguised as prizes of reason and wisdom, with briberies of finery to weaken any criticism. Can the fly invade the blossom that devours it? A mouth that lies in wait for a gift of life to shower it.
All right. It's session 78. It is 123 BC. We did a 10-year time skip, and you guys got 5 experience points.
By the way, Warple, can you take your voice to push to talk because there is a what is it?
Okay.
Echo in your sound. So
Sure.
thank you.
I'll sort it out.
All right. Before we get going with the session proper, was there anything you guys needed to talk about? Downtime actions, anything like that?
I'd be able to try to continue working it. I am towards the expulsion of the Grangro from his domain.
Okay. You know what? I think we will start there, as a matter of fact. Because I think it's important what you're about to find out. So you guys are going about your nightly business, and we're going to have Albina, for whatever reason, is at the Elysium. So let me switch on over. In the gymnasium, there is a special event going on. A lot of Canaanites are in there watching. Guys are engaged in a formal wrestling match. This is not gladiator weapons, bashing on each other. This is actual, Greco-Roman wrestling. Guys engaged in an exhibition. As you wander in, the people cheering, the first citizen is there with his normal retinue of the Lasombra, the Malkavian, and the Nosferatu. Ihamus is there, which is actually somewhat unusual, and he has someone unknown sitting with him. Someone you've never really seen before, but you've heard vague descriptions of.
The child of the Grangro,
Yes.
I imagine.
Yes, indeed it is. Like I said, but as I said, you have not formally met her. You have only heard a few vague descriptions. So, you walk in, you see the match going on. You see them lounging in the bleachers. And the girl appears to be quite relaxed, comfortable, and at ease with Ihamus. They are, they're as relaxed as two people who are somewhat intimate with each other can be, kind of, leaning up against each other. They are chatting with each other, and their hands are pretty casually touching, their shoulder, the leg. Just having a nice conversation, talking about the match or whatever it is. You can't really make it out from here, from the entrance area as you walk in.
Who's fighting? Are those vampires or mortals or
Uh,
ghouls?
they're sweating quite heavily, and they're quite dirty. So probably mortals or ghouls.
She head over to take a seat next to the Ihamans and the dragon.
They scoot over and make room for you. He allows you to sit. He says, Albina, how wonderful to see you. I haven't seen your face for quite a long time. I was beginning to think that you were shunning me.
Not at all. I was actually uh, trying to get some information with Approach about our mutual acquaintance. She went to give a glance to the child, sights her, and give her greetings.
Ah, yes, well. Um, as sad as I am to say this, I have already given out the promised reward to a few of the more eager neonates in the city who helped me out.
I understand. Thank you for approaching us with the subject in the first place. Hmm. If I may ask, what was the final outcome?
Oh, I gave up seeking out domain over the region. I obtained a much higher prize in the process. And then he touches the girl's leg, and she smiles at him.
That is going to cause her to raise an eyebrow. Oh, you two have been found yourselves in a relationship.
Well, may I introduce Larthia Curvanus?
She extends a hand. I'll be in a palace. A pleasure.
She briefly just like touches her fingertips to you, and that's it. So fingertip to fingertip.
She raises an eyebrow, the peculiarity of the action, but she does not comment on it. How have the two of you been brought together?
Well, let's just say that Actian embraced a child of far greater intelligence and taste than he himself.
Yes, from the tales that I heard about him and about her, that became very clear very early on in your investigations. I believe you have a bright future with Ihamus.
Well, the day will come one day when she must depart on her own, but until such time, we plan on enjoying ourselves together.
As the two of you should. It is memories come to her about her own time spent with Andre. Um, and she looks a bit saddened for a few seconds. She looks looking down, perhaps a bit regretful. Such connections are one of the few things in creation that are worth of enjoyment, that are worth of looking forward to.
I want to be clear, you are, of course, welcome to come back at any time. I do not mean to imply that you are forbidden from coming to see me. Such is not my intent. I just want you to know, you are still welcome. You and your all of your friends are welcome to come and see me in a social call at any time.
I make sure to I make sure to remember that, and I'm glad to hear that. It is not uh, it is not my desire for us to be enemies, much less for us to be hostiles to one another. Despite some of the shortcomings that we had in our relationship recently, I do believe that we hold great potential for one another.
Well, let it not be said that I never take you. I did not take this business personally. I understand you are had more weighty matters on your mind, such things and such opportunities, and he gestures vaguely towards the first citizen, must be balanced. But keep in mind the rewards. It's my understanding that the reward that the first citizen gave to you is in no way reflected in the amount of effort that you put forth to him.
It isn't. It really isn't, and it wasn't my first choice to focus on the task given by him, by Camillus. I much prefer to focus on your task, but the decision lay to the rest of the country.
Well, do pass on to them that uh, I am not angry in any way, nor do I hold a grudge against them for this. It was simply it was a decision that had to be made, and well, the consequences must be seen through, unfortunately. In the meantime, if you would like to watch the wrestling match, we are watching a representative from Northern Gaul uh, who was recently captured in a war face off against a local champion.
Have they been good, or are they normal mortals?
Uh, Unless someone has slipped a little bit of cheating in here, they're both mortals.
Oh, this is going to be entertaining to watch. She smiles as she anticipates the coming bloodshot from the Westly. Imagine the living mortals be quite fragile.
Yeah, this is the match is more akin to a mixed martial arts than it is to Olympic style Greco-Roman wrestling. There is quite a lot of wrestling involved, but there's also a lot of groin shots, short punches, elbow strikes, knees, lots of this kind of stuff going on. And you can see there's a few other wrestlers waiting in the wings, including a local pancration champion, the Greek martial art, and a few others. Some of them are bloody and bruised, so obviously this has been going on for already a little bit tonight. So they are just everyone's kind of relaxed, enjoying the show, cheering at a good blows. Uh, you can smell the. It's peculiar that you can smell cologne, and you can also smell the sweat and blood of the men uh, fighting in the ring. Uh, you can't really smell anything from the vampires themselves, except for, like I said, colognes, maybe some soap. The smell of ammonia from what is used as the laundry detergent here. Such things as that.
Does it seem like there's any sort of weight attached to the outcome of the current wrestling match? Do the vampires seem to be more interested in it other than, well, it's just flat entertainment?
It's basically just flat entertainment. Yeah, there's people who are fans of one or the other, but the way they're cheering, a few bets going on, it's nothing serious. So yeah, as you're talking, you're hearing the brutal thuds and fists and strikes. You hear the grunts and groans of effort. Uh, One guy picks the other up in a belly-to-back suplex and slams him down over his shoulder. Uh, Rolls over, jumps up in the air, goes for a knee strike on the ground. You can hear a rib crack. Oh! As a particularly great blow, everyone stands up and cheers. Yeah, yeah! The guy curls up in pain. He's obviously lost. Uh, and the winner stands around, pumps his fists up in the air. Blood's pouring off of his face from a broken nose. So it's just a night of entertainment. The victor sits off to the side. Uh, Somebody comes over and straightens his nose out for him. You can see him wince as he grabs the nose and goes whack and straightens it out a little bit. The next couple come out and somebody announces them, and they start, and the next match begins. It's more kind of bragging rights at stake than anything else. Who found the better fighter?
Mm. The thing I'm curious about is how they're going to deal with any potential Masquerade breaches.
I mean, I do not expect that they are going to let these guys return to normal society once this is done.
That's what Dominate's for. Alright, so you guys are obviously free to stay and watch the rest of this. Continue going through the Elysium, talking to anyone else that you see fit to talk to.
Let's see.
I think for the entire duration of the time that they're there, I think much like the thing I posted on the Roll20, Libyan is just gonna sit there eagerly watching the matches, hoping one of the combatants will die.
Yeah, Nicodemus, we can all see Nicodemus twitching, that he wants to go over and check on the medical condition of these guys, and he's having to restrain himself.
We'll probably spend a little time mingling with Ihamas. Nothing like specific, just generally that basically just mingling, as I said.
All right, hey Nicodemus, I need a willpower roll, diff 6.
Yeah, I'm expected.
Yeah, so you can go talk to Ihamas. He doesn't have, he's not talking a lot of business tonight. Kind of just general niceties.
Yeah. Also, introduce himself to the Gangrel girl.
Yes, he will introduce Larthia Curvenus to you. You recognize the signs of his newest disciple.
Yep. Here's a random question that I'm just kind of curious about. This is first of all, from way back when. There's restrictions on Ravnos. Is it a full-on they can't enter Elysium, or not? Or is that still allowed under specific circumstances?
I believe their restriction is that they cannot form any cults.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right, and the second question I have then is not that I'm necessarily going to go interact, but I'm just curious: is Mahendra hanging around?
Oh, he's in the city somewhere. He's around somewhere. He's in the
Not in
city.
Elysium, though.
No, 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 no.
Anyway, yeah, that. I don't have anything else that really comes to mind, so I'll just pass it to everyone else.
I don't have anything to do.
No, that's
Okay.
okay. I would like to try to go for Gail Leonis, if she's still in the city.
She
she's-
is, as a matter of fact, still here.
Okay. Yeah, she's going to go over to her.
And she actually would love to be watching this, because, yeah, this is kind of her thing. So, yeah, she's completely relaxed, at ease, and she looks at you, and out of instinct, you can see her hand twitches to a weapon that's not there before she controls it. And she's like, "What do you want?"
I said, I will make you an offer. Have you ever captured a werewolf alive?
Captured one? No. Fought
Would
them?
you like?
Yes.
Would you like to?
Well, I mean, taking one on one is a amazing test of your personal mettle, but capturing one, I don't know.
You'd not have to do this alone. I wouldn't send you alone, of course. I do not wish for you to die. I wish for the werewolf to be captured.
Well, I don't want to die either, obviously.
I only need to trade a favor to have your assistance in this matter. And I came to you because you are honestly one of the best fighters that I can think of.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't know how excited I am about putting my life on the line for this. Um, Risk has to be worth the rewards.
I can trade you. And what would be the ranks of booms? I believe there's trivial boom, minor boom, normal boom, major boom, and a blood boom. Is a life boom? Is that correct?
Um, Trivial, minor, major, life.
I trade you a major boom would be common discipline of the bloodline or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Trade you a major boom to have your assistance in capturing a werewolf.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. I'll have to get back with you on some timing though. I'm gonna need some time to prepare. Maybe search out some help myself.
That's alright. I also have some other people that we need to talk about this matter. Thank you. And she's going to has to be safe. She's just going to give her a goodbye and proceed to head to ARLtR if she's present.
ARLtR is not present, but you do know where to find her.
Okay. If
She
she's
is
not
at the
present,
temple. She is at the temple of Diana.
she's not present. She's going to wait until she's going to fulfill her part in the ceremony of taking part in this the social gathering, and once she's able, she's going to head there.
Okay. You've been to the temple of Diana quite often. I don't remember. Did you say that you were going to keep Up
Yes.
the yearly? Okay.
Going to do her part to fulfill the spirituals that fuck Artemis used to take part of.
Yep.
We were all going to do that, weren't we? think.
Some of you did, and some of you did not.
Can't remember if Labiena, if I decided Labiena was going to or not.
I have an easy answer for that. On your character sheet, do you have a dot of Ventru status?
That I'll have to check. Question is, where would I have put that?
I suppose this is as good a time as any to talk about the status background. The status background gets overlooked a lot. It's kind of used just as a roleplay element, but there is a mechanical advantage to it. If you are invoking your status on a social role, leadership, or of like leadership, or where you being a respected or authority figure would come into play, you can add your dots and status to your dice pool.
Okay.
Now, if somebody can say, I'm ignoring that, and that's their right, but that's also an incredibly huge insult, and you are within your rights to be highly offended and take appropriate actions to rectify the situation.
Information.
So, in the case of do you have venture status, if you do, you can add that dot to any interaction you have with a Ventru.
I don't have that. One dot of regular status, but nothing to do. Nothing.
Then, unfortunately, you
Ventru.
elected to only spend a certain amount of time doing it. Alright, so, Albina is headed to the Temple of Diana. The Temple of Diana is near the Severan Wall on the Aventine Hill. Speaking of which, on the Aventine Hill, Artemis's villa is no more. There is a large construction project going on.
Interesting.
Do you know what sort of project that is?
Yeah,
They are
I was
building a
about to ask
temple.
that. Ah. Is there any indication as to what kind of temple yet, or?
I will tell you
Like-
in a moment as soon as I find my notes as to which one it is. They've just started it. It's going to take a while to complete. It is a temple of Venus Verticordia, Venus the Changer of Hearts.
Hmm.
Alright, the Temple of Diana is actually kind of small. But she is the guardian of the gates. You enter the temple. It's laid out. You've been there before, obviously, many times. She is cleaning the altar, preparing the rites. Alethea greets you cordially and sits down with you and says, well, what brings you here? It's not your normal visiting night.
No, it is more personal matters that bring me to you. I think that you, I don't know if I've heard, but I have been tasked by the capturing a werewolf alive. I'd like to make a request to have you as part of this assist me in such a task. I will need to trade figures for it.
That is a formidable task.
Yes, it is. I now they already met his final death during such a task, and it is my understanding that the child of Laviena met a similar fate.
Well, I have been aching to put my sword back in my hand. It's been entirely too peaceful here for me.
She smiles at that. Well, um, you might also like to know that Gale, the Carthaginian, has also taken up that task.
Oh,
She,
good for her.
she's a formidable warrior, from what I understand.
Yes,
Traded
they
her,
all like to think so.
traded her a life boon a major boon for it.
Yeah, you
You
are very
believe
much getting the impression Alethea is not impressed by
you
Gale.
believe you believe that you can outdo her.
Believe I can outdo her. No, no, no. I know I can outdo her. And in fact, I believe you know that I can outdo her.
She smiles. Maybe I do, and that's why I came to you after talking to her, after realizing what kind of person she is, after getting a closer look on her.
That being said,
Remember,
let me ask you some questions. I'm sure she didn't ask you any of this. She just eagerly jumped in.
quite not
What
the
kind
moment.
of resistance are you expecting?
When we ambushed a group of werewolves, they turned out to be a pack. It's a 4 to 5 members, with one of them getting killed by us. One of them showed himself having been able to resist silver to a degree. It seemed to do no more harm to him than normal iron. The others are less impressive. One of them seemed to have a natural abilities that natural unnatural abilities, but that's the one that we killed. So he should not be any trouble anymore unless they found a replacement for him over these years.
I did not realize that that was you that had stirred them up so highly. We had I had heard that they force attempted to kill several of them.
We made the attempt and we managed to get one, but it was not as successful as we had hoped. It was the first time fighting an entire pack of them. We had expected to only get one or two at most, not an entire pack, and certainly not one that is able to resist silver.
I had not heard that either. One proved resistant to silver. You say?
Yes, we took quite a bit of silver weaponries with us when we attacked them, but the silver javelins and blades that we use seem to do no more damage than normal iron ones. To this one, I imagine it was the leader. Perhaps something akin to an elder among their kind, or perhaps someone with akin to fortitude.
She flexes her hand, and Protean claws come out, and then slide back in. She says, "I assume these are still going to be effective against them."
We are not able to test that. We do not have any gangrel or anyone with protein among our group.
Do you have a plan besides gathering help.
Our last plan included an ambush. I doubt that's going to be working again. But my plan would be to first try to locate where they make their den, where they make their hidings, where they hide. I have a few rituals of the abyss that I believe can assist with that. Can assist in scouring the city without attracting the attention of the werewolves.
Well, I believe you're going to have to attract their attention somehow to at least know who to target. So you're going to need some bait.
They seem to be very hostile towards us after our latest meeting. I believe we should be able to attract them out into the open.
No, I mean, perhaps you should find someone or something you don't mind dying and set them up to be the bait.
She thinks on that for a second, thinking of someone that she does not mind dying, someone that she believes that might be able to make for useful bait. The best that she can think of is some modern neonate, some modern vampire, but at the same time, she does not know anyone that she could exert power over that shouldn't mind dying. The only one people that she can think of be the rest of her coterie and her child, and none of those she wishes to die, to meet their final death. So she thinks, I suppose I could get myself and find myself some mortal or some ghoul
Well,
that I can.
find yourself a neonate, someone that is in need of some minor favors, and offer them in return for them running a simple errand for you in an area where you know werewolves attract. That market, perhaps. And just say, for a minor boon, I need you to, I don't know, take this sack of raw meat across the market. See if they can be lured out. Just some task that you know will attract their attention.
They did seem to have attacked the craftsman that we got our silver weapons from. Perhaps a shipment of silver would attract their attention.
That's a good idea. Plant rumors of a illicit shipment of the valuable metal and see who shows up.
Thank you for your guidance, Lady ARLtR.
For a major boon for myself and anyone I bring with me, I will help you.
It is done.
She shakes your hand, seals the deal.
Yes, I that the old haven of Lady Artemis has been repurposed into a temple. Do you know anything about it?
I do not. Know the newsreaders had announced that they were going to build a temple to Venus, but in all honesty, I did not pay that much attention to it.
I'd have expected this to be. I expect that her domain would have to come under the control of her childish.
It's just a building, Albina. It's just a building.
She nods. I suppose so. Just a building. Thank you for your time, Lady ARLtR. Have a good night. see you during the next ceremonies, I imagine.
Good night.
To make sure we're out.
While we have a pause, there is one thing that I just remembered that I forgot to mention during over the downtime. It's just a small note for now, but remember the guy you mentioned I got the result of from the ritual, Chris?
As a result of the ritual, yes, that man.
Yes. I want to try. In the meantime, I want to try and use whatever contacts I have available to try and get some ideas of what the man's like.
Okay. Would like you to roll wits plus investigation plus your contacts rating. Plus allies if you want to use allies as well.
Is it possible to spend a willpower on this roll?
Yes, but you're going to be down one for the rest of the session.
Yeah, okay. Base diff, did you say?
6.
Because I'm going to need that bloody willpower because...
Also, I need you to roll intelligence and politics.
Okay, I'll roll that second. But, oh wow.
2 successes.
Two
Right.
successes on the first roll, and then intelligence politics. And no background for that one, right?
Correct. On your first roll, there are 3 people by that name. You have to be more specific.
Okay, with the second roll?
The second roll, the family that you're asking about is the single most politically accomplished family in Rome.
Oh boy.
It produced more consuls, praetors, senators, and other such public servants than almost any other 2 families combined.
I'm
So just to say that what you're contemplating is risky is understating
Yeah.
it.
But you know,
No risk, no reward.
yeah, and we live in risk-fueled times, or at least what will soon become risk-fueled times.
We did not do the time skip yet.
Yes, we did a time skip. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to pick up the wolf plot line after the Halloween game.
Thank you.
It's going to take these guys a little bit of time to prep things to their liking.
Also,
In the
just
meantime...
Oh.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Labiana.
That's right. I was just going to quickly say, whilst we're talking about the time skip, I wasn't quite sure how to go about this, but I know one thing Labian wanted to do in the kind of next kind of time skip was try and find some way to get herself access to the local morgue.
Okay. There's no such thing.
Whether that be, or you know, like.
What happens is there's essentially an industry around body disposal.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I mean. Whatever they had back then.
And they cremated them mostly. That being said, there were plenty of bodies that were just shoved in the river and allowed to float downstream.
Okay. So I could see Labiana doing something like, you know, investigating, asking around, or something, and trying to find out all this kind of information, like where she can find just like a large number of dead bodies.
Okay. So what you're looking for is one of the reasonably large families that supply cremation services, basically. These are guys, they go out, they are importing lots of wood, they put the bodies in kilns, fire them up, and dig the ashes out and give them to families for their personal altars, such like that.
Right.
So there are, of course, several that are well known. This is not an industry where you want to hide your association. It's an honorable industry. So you can easily find contact information for several of them.
Okay. Also, she'd have to figure out whether she wants to get directly involved or, you know, probably insert a ghoul somewhere in there. Get herself a ghoul. Insert the ghoul in there, get the ghoul working for them. So then she can have access sort of after hours, I suppose.
Okay. So you're looking for a way to either get a family member or an employee under your power so that you can essentially get in there and have access to the bodies.
Essentially, yeah.
Yep. I don't see any reason why you couldn't eventually figure that out, how you could do that. So you can spend experience points for a, we're going to call this an ally, not a retainer.
Okay.
And this would be an employee working for one of these body disposal families.
That's an idea, yeah. Something. Yeah. So that was ground, right? How many XP are we talking?
1.
One?
You're going from allies 0 to allies 1.
Cheat.
And if you want to develop that, it's then current rating times 2.
Well, she'll start with 1 for now.
Yep.
So, how big was the time skip?
10
Again?
years.
10 years. There be enough time to build it to level 2?
Oh, yes. So that's a couple of employees, maybe the girlfriend of one of the family members, you know. You have basically gotten to the point where they owe you enough favors. They're used to doing things for you. It's kind of like The Godfather. You know, you never even invite me over for coffee. You never do anything for me. You want me to do this for you. You know, that's allies. So yeah, they're definitely willing to give you after hours access, swap in portions of bodies for other portions, things like that.
Excellent. Well, I think, yeah, 2 dots would probably go a long way for that. So, yeah, and I've got enough XP, so mark that on my sheet. Here. Excuse me. This should come in handy.
Yes, I'm actually quite sure that it will. All right, so I'm gonna put us back on the slice of life screen here. Just some pictures about slice of life in Rome, living accommodations, marketplace. people going about their daily lives.
The right one is really good. The right picture.
All right, any other downtime stuff you guys want to talk about or go over?
Not really. Not on my part.
All right, cool. Nicodemus, anything?
I'm
Okay. All right, so it's 123 BC. Hatchet and Labiena, the two of you, are out searching, working on the cult, trying to attract some followers, doing the normal preaching thing. Tonight, not really having any luck. Nobody seems to want to pay any attention to you. From across the plaza, you see a large crowd attracted to another speaker. And the man's voice carries across the plaza. It says, "People of Italia, Latins of quality, hear my words. Long have you suffered under the yoke of the wealthy. They lash you not with leather, but with words of iron and tongues of gold. They betray our efforts and fill their bellies with your labor. Come now tonight and fill your bellies with lamb and wine and olives. Feast at the tables set before you. Who gives you better? Who offers you more? Those harlots," and he points to you two, "that have taken the wives from your very homes, or Sol Mithras, born a god so mighty that he hewed himself from the earth itself. Eat, my friends, and tomorrow bring your families back and we will feed them as well." And everyone cheers and they're eating. This guy circulates among them for the next hour or so as everyone goes through the line and chows down. You can see that he's tall and broad-shouldered. He's wearing Roman tunic and sandals. But eventually, everyone does leave and go home, and he is working on the cleanup, leaving the two of you watching him, and he knows you're watching him because he keeps looking back in your direction.
Sorry, who's you two? Nicodemus and who?
Labiena and Hatshepsut.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he specifically pointed at them, called them harlots, and said they're stealing your wives from you.
Pretty much.
And are we all here?
I don't
Like the
know,
whole
are you?
country?
The two of them certainly are.
I don't think I am.
But the two of them do a lot of the recruiting, so that's why I specifically called them out.
Labiena kind of looks over at Hatshepsut. Competition.
Sorry, what was that?
Huh? Oh, I was saying, Labiena just looks over at Hatshepsut and says, It would appear we have some competition."
Indeed. After a while, I'm just considering things a little. I was going to approach the guy. Just look him over.
Okay? Yeah, he's like I said, tall. He's got a little bit of muscle to him. He's got wide shoulders, clean-shaven face, dark hair. Features look somewhat Roman. Maybe there's some mixed blood in here.
How, without the benefit of foresight, would it be possible to detect if he was a vampire?
You can roll perception and awareness.
Diff 6.
Yes, difficulty 6.
1 suck.
Okay. He is breathing, and you saw him drinking something, which doesn't mean he's not a vampire.
But if he is, he's blending
but
it.
there's a strong indication that he's not. After all, you've seen vampires do that before. They just don't like to do it.
Yeah.
Not natural anymore.
Interesting tactic. Is your own group having so little luck with convincing the undecideds that you seek to pilfer instead?
Say rather that we seek to save them from a life of embarrassment.
Oh? Elaborate.
I believe I was quite clear already. The worship of Sol Mithras will save them, and the worship of whatever it is that you and your group espouse will merely see their wives sold off to you for labor.
You speak, and just there you reveal that you speak so ill of things that you don't even fully understand. Well, I suppose there was no helping it sometimes.
Under her breath, Labiana kind of just says, blasphemy.
Now, out of character, I know a little bit about the real world Masquerade stuff, but I don't know like immense amounts. Could I make a knowledge roll to try and get a better picture?
So you can make a wits and theology roll. This isn't going to tell you much about the cult, but it will tell you something else if you get 3 successes.
All right.
Can I make this roll as well?
Yes, you can.
So what was it? Theology and
Theology and wits.
Base diff.
Yes, 6.
Fuck.
That's not a
Well,
botch, just a failure.
Yeah.
I very, very rarely get to use theology.
Which is weird considering your character concept.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, I did take the specialty Death Gods, which I presume isn't going to help me here.
No, it's not.
It's nothing to do with Death Gods.
Did not get 3 successes. Alright. Unfortunately, you don't know much about this cult. This Sol Mithras. Although the name itself should be enough to give you a little bit of pause.
Yeah, well, we are familiar with the real Mithras.
Don't be afraid of us. We do hold our hands out to all.
But why insist on speaking ill of us? What purpose does that serve exactly?
It serves the 2 purposes. It lets you know that we're coming for you. and it tells your people that they know where to go when you can't protect them. And he smiles a very sinister, self satisfied grin.
Of course,
Well,
Labienne has got a very calm, kind of cold, unconcerned look on her face.
bold claim, one who is most likely themselves a puppet. But I digress. Perhaps we will see each other again soon.
Oh, there's no perhaps about it. I'll be seeing you real soon.
Is it a threat?
Well, Labienne is certainly taken as such, but again, she's not really concerned.
Oh god, if it wasn't for the Masquerade risk, I'd have something that I would just love to do to this guy if it wasn't for the Masquerade. But oh well.
And
Use your words.
you can always get him somewhere where there's no witnesses.
Or you can use your words and roast him.
Has the crowd mostly dispersed by this point?
Mostly. There's a few stragglers. People who don't really have anywhere to go. That kind of stuff. People picking at scraps, looking through the gutters. The usual nighttime riffraff. Nobody seems to be paying that much attention to you. Nobody's hiding in shadows with a crossbow waiting on you if you're asking.
Hmm. Oh no, I was just more wondering if that'd be limited effects from arguing with this guy over much right now.
Okay, let me put it this way. You could probably get away with level 1 Serpentis. You could not get away with level 2 or 3.
Well, no, no, I knew that much. Like that, I was more just thinking in terms of other options. If I bested him in a debate,
Presence.
but no, it's not enough people around to really be worth any potential backlash. So,
Yes.
No. But one thing Labienne might do. Might activate Read the Soul.
Good
See
idea.
if she might discern anything.
Right? Perception Empathy, difficulty 8 per the book.
Wait, did they roll it twice? Same roll anyways, so...
No, I think that was your first roll with the theology one. But you do get 2 successes.
Oh.
So, Ghoul.
Oh shit.
Obviously her demeanor doesn't change. She's still the same cold Cappadocian.
He's still picking up the last few things. He begins walking across the plaza. He shakes his head. He goes, I had heard that you were self-absorbed. I had never heard that you had bad manners. Oh well.
who is he saying that to both of us or one of
Yes,
us
both
or?
of you.
Labienne kind of raises her eyebrows.
Well, I've always been of the thought that manners are for people that you think a little bit of.
He just nods and laughs. And on that parting insult, to which I will admit to being bested in that war of and that little discussion. I will be seeing you shortly. And he heads off and slips into the crowd.
Labiana will slip in a little good evening to you. Or he does.
Hal will just look over to Labio. We should probably talk to the others about this.
Indeed. I was able to discern something. Might not be much, but it's something. I can wait until we return to the haven.
Alright, obviously you guys are returning to the group haven. This is a good time to introduce Vlad Karstein, however you want to pronounce it. Vlad is a Tzimisce that you met during the 10-year time skip when it became clear that Agatha was not going to be coming back. Son of a bitch, I knew I forgot something. We're going to pause this. We're going to rewind a little bit. We all forgot that you were going to go talk to the prince about Agatha.
I thought we would do it later. That's why I don't know, spoke about the prince.
So, we can do that, or I can just tell you what happened.
Just tell us.
I'm down with either approach.
Yeah, I have no preferences.
Okay, yeah, just tell us, like,
Okay.
what was said.
All right. Well, I'm hearing either approach and just tell us, so I'll just tell you. Essentially, he was extremely disappointed and banished Agatha from all of Italia, not just Rome, all of Italia. The specific words were anywhere where Rome holds sway.
That's a lot.
And anyone who helps her or offers her any aid or succor, in his words, will share in her fate.
Agatha, who's that?
Never heard of her.
So,
Yeah, knowing the background myself, I'm really curious what happened to Agatha after that declaration.
Yeah.
Knowing the background of what happened to her, I'm really curious.
Carthage Resurgency movement.
So he banished on pain of blood hunt due to breaking the silence of the blood, and he questioned you all about the incident and got all of your stories. Was extremely upset that none of you thought to erase the memories of these lictors, that you all just, okay, yeah, we'll leave your house now.
I suggested
No,
it.
well, none of us who were there at the time had that power.
So, to cut a long story short, he did take care of that, but he never formalized any kind of offer to be your patron. So, you guys have, unfortunately, not been with him. You're not really his clients.
It's okay.
That happens after everything that went down in that regard.
So Agatha is gone. But you do have a chance to meet that Tzimisce. And one peculiar thing about this Tzimisce is that his appearance, there's two peculiar things. The first is that his appearance changes every single night. I say his, it's really its. The second is something that Albina noticed first, before anybody else. Albina's pretty self-conscious about the no reflective objects thing. And when Vlad came to the Haven and was by a reflective object, what what you see is not the form of Vlad in the mirror. You see a monster. Whatever your personal perception of monster is, the vampiric beast, that's what you see in the mirror. And as soon as Albina pointed it out, you all saw it.
What mostly is it? Like, is it like a humanoid or is it like more like an animal?
It's whatever you personally feel a beast incarnate would look like.
It's limited by imagination.
Think of what Labiena would imagine. Something in the form of a Beelzebub, maybe.
Fascinating.
No, it'd be some kind of skeletal thing, I would imagine.
So,
By the way, about the everyday or every night changing appearance, you see some night that his appearance really monstrous, like unimaginable kind of monsters. Just to let that out.
right. So, what does Vlad look like tonight?
Yeah. Oof. I mean, would you like to describe?
No, it's you rolled pretty well. So, how do you see Vlad being tonight?
Okay.
Typical person, ish.
I will say that for this night, it is how his picture looks like on the sheet. So, but to give more details, it is essentially the skin, the flesh he has, is shaped in a manner that it represents like a long black coat rather than human skin and flesh. So as you look at it, you don't really see like a human body, but a human body covered with essentially coat made of skin.
Oh,
Like
so
there are no nipples, there's no belly button,
so
nothing like that.
okay, so he's happened upon the efficiency of being his own clothes.
Yeah,
No
some
nostrils.
Yeah, no, sure, no nostrils. His skin, by the way, is so soft that you can see the bones underneath it and the teeth underneath the lips or behind the lips. You can see the veins surrounding all over his body. There is no hair right now on his head. It's bald. His eyes look softly, faintly reddish, and they kind of look like how to say it, lifeless without touch. His arms, of course, not underneath the flesh, so that he can use his arms without issue, but they're also covered with this cloth-like skin, so it really gives a weird look to it. He is missing one eye, and actually, for those all 10 years, he always missed that one eye, despite always appearing different, every night appearing different. That is one common trait that his physical body has, missing one eye. Otherwise, there isn't much different.
Yeah. So you guys come home to this albino, translucent sort of looking monster sitting there, um, talking to talking to each other basically, and um, Vlad is talking to Nicodemus and Albina when you guys arrive back.
Hey guys. Oh, hey Vlad, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Well, there's been a bit of a interesting event um, in town just now, but hmm, what were we stepping in on? I apologize. I don't wish to interrupt.
There wasn't anything to interrupt.
Just spill it out. If it wasn't of any consequence, you wouldn't have mentioned it.
Oh, I simply wish to make sure I wasn't interrupting anything equally important first, but very well. The cult of Mithras seems to have taken a negative stance on us.
That is peculiar. I do not think we ever did anything to offend Mithras.
Is
Please.
it not a matter of business? Competition?
Perhaps, though.
That's what we thought at first. I was, however, and I can mention this now that we're back. It seems that this person that we had an encounter with is in fact a ghoul of some description.
So presumably linked to the Ventru Mithras, then.
Potentially.
As if things weren't trouble enough.
I know enough about Mithras that he is quite dangerous and powerful.
What exactly did they say?
Well, first the good man referred to us both as harlots and implied that we were stealing away the good Roman citizens' wives, and basically said that only the cult of Mithras could save them. After that point, well, I approached him, and well, putting bluntly, he said that he would see us again soon.
If he is a ghoul for Mithras, then he is not relevant. The one that we should talk about with is Mithras himself.
I like the straightforwardness you have, ARLtR. But is this really an important matter? It's just, at least for now, it looks like a competition, and competition always exists. We can keep you can keep an eye on it. I'm not really, worried about such things, but other than keeping one eye on it, it shouldn't be much problem for you.
Nothing else. We should make sure that whatever bad blood there is between the two of our cults does not escalate further. After all, Mithras is a respectable member of the city, and to have him as an enemy, especially at this point, would be unpleasant.
Sadly, if I remember correct about what you said regarding the past 10 years, it looks like your cult took a blow and they are a little more wounded than they were before 10 years ago. So this might be a good time for the other cults to try to bite your meat and steal what you have. Are you sure that you want to go to the offensive? Maybe it would be better if you stay at defensive and try to protect what you have, rather than conquer more.
Not suggesting offensive, merely speaking to him.
Finding out more certainly wouldn't go amiss. Taking steps to defend, to make sure our assets are safe. I suppose really the main question I have is why it seems odd that they'd single out us.
Perhaps you should see if the other cults run by kindred have also been meeting such hostility from the cult of Mithras.
Hmm.
Well, ultimately, we should just be prepared for anything. At this stage, you know, we don't know if they've got anything planned or not. All they said was that they would see us soon. Now I don't really see them as a big enough threat to really. But that's just me.
And
Hmm.
what about the other matter? The situation you are in right now, the danger your names are under. Are you decisive on staying in Rome?
It seems I get the feeling for now. For now, we have to be stuck here. But we do need to take more care.
Maybe ways to make life more comfortable for us.
Hmm. We okay. I think as I've mentioned, I think our first task should be figuring out precisely what the interest the cult of Mithras has in us through whatever means we have available. Then we should look if it's something we should protect ourselves against. We should take the steps to do so. And ultimately, we need to start looking into expanding our own influence so that we can be more prepared for such things in future. Currently, we are without patron, so we are perhaps uniquely vulnerable. We cannot afford to be lax in our measures.
I suggest that for the future, at least for the near future, you should not desire to expand your influence in any matter, but focus on increasing your defenses so that you have a strong base, a ground to work on in these dire times.
Well, they say that sometimes the best defense is the best offense.
Let's
Also,
plant one of ours within their cult.
yes, I was also about to say reassuring our current members wouldn't go astray either.
Hmm.
You know,
I
strengthening their resolve to us would only benefit us in the long run.
My one concern is that if the Ventru Mithras is involved in all this, then, well, we'd be taking an immense risk sending one of our own to infiltrate.
I don't know much about how cults work, but isn't there a level of structure? If you successfully implement one of your own in their cult, I do not think that he will be important enough for Mitra's, how to say it, attention.
No, but it might draw the attention of a ghoul we have.
I'm sure the ghoul would love to handle that situation himself and not bother his master.
Like say infiltrate one of
and
us
I'm
in the. Sorry, go ahead.
about to say, if, and I stress, if it is indeed a ghoul of Mithras, that we cannot be sure about. We can only assume at this point.
But there's another thing. How much do you know about the cult of Mithras? Do you know if other kindreds are helping him with his cult? The school doesn't have to be belonging to Mithras directly.
True enough.
When you say that,
Still,
What were you about to say, Elder?
when you suggest infiltrating someone into the cult, do you mean one of us, or do you mean one of us followers?
One of our followers, if we were to go that route at all. I suspect that they already know us well enough to interfere in that. Interfere if we were to infiltrate ourselves.
I have the same thought.
Hmm. All right. I believe I have an idea of someone I can go to first. Approximately what time in the night is it, Chris?
It would be approximately 10:30.
So the night is still young.
Yes, it's quite young.
All right. I will go see if Ihamus has anything interesting to say about the Mithrasists. I trust the rest of you have at least some idea of where you might go for information.
If you're not pulled by any of you, I'd like to approach Mistress and ask him directly about it.
Is he here in Rome?
Do you really think he's going to give you any answers?
Well, it is possible that his arrogance will be enough to make him let something slip.
Oh, let's just hope that Albina, you will be accepted to his presence, if he has any room for it.
If you truly plan on going there, Albina, take heed to ensure you are not entranced by his capabilities.
I plan to approach him in a public setting, not in his haven or in a more private location where he might be free to do as he desires.
Excellent.
Well, go dance with the serpent then, and hope that you are not caught in his bite.
Oh no, I'm the one dancing with the serpent.
At some point,
You are
any elder is a serpent.
a serpent hat suit.
True.
I can make you a serpent head suit. You just need to ask for it.
Maybe another time. But for now, I should be heading off. Yes, of course. The other thing to note: be wary, everyone. If they plan to attack us, well, we should at least be alert so that we can at least try to defend ourselves.
We should also not be overzealous. If they attack us, we can bring the matter to the prince. We are in the right. But if we let them provoke us into attacking them, they will have the support of the backing of the city in whatever they decide to do with us.
I don't know much about politics, but can Prince help us if the matter is human conflict and not vampire conflict?
If we can prove that it was sufficiently connected to a vampire, we may have a case.
It's our property, our belongings. To attack them is to attack us, much like they are to Porno Haven.
Anyway, yes, I shall be back shortly. And yeah, Hat's going to just give an nod and head over, take her bodyguard ghouls and head over towards Iharmus's place. Oh boy. How is that? How many werewolves assault us?
Well, was there a roll? Did someone roll? Okay, yeah, someone
Yeah,
roll.
Christopher rolled a D100.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're okay. It's not werewolves, you're okay. It's just mummies and mages and other creatures that's about to kill you, not werewolves.
Alternatively, it's something that is only deadly in that number. It's like 87, I don't know, hummingbirds.
With teeth.
I mean, if each hummingbird rolls 1d10, it still can kill you quite easily.
The twist is that they're all the Aztec hummingbirds that are imbued with the souls of dead warriors.
All right. You had a 25% chance of being attacked.
Is this R25 or not R5?
No, this was
25?
This was Hatch's because he does not live in a safe neighborhood. So
I meant like
you rolled
okay.
The roll was quite good for you, so you are in no danger tonight. His domain has changed very little since the last time you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
There is still the small slave pen, as he is still involved in high quality trafficked slaves. But he does still have some warehouses up from the other stuff that he's been getting involved in, luxury goods and such. You enter his haven. Of course, you've been there many times before. His people know you. They show you to the normal meeting room. And the young female gangrel comes in first and sits down.
With red eyes.
Nope. There is a single candle lit, which is his normal habit. Because although, like all Setites, he prefers the dark, he is a polite host and makes sure everyone can see. She comes in, sits down on the cushions. and offers a polite greeting and says that he will be in as soon as he finishes his nightly services.
Of course, and yeah, I'll like return greeting and just yeah.
So as she's sitting there, she says, "Well, what brings you to the domain of Master Ihamus?"
Hmm. Uh, Sadly, it has to be business right now, but uh, there's some information I seek, but uh, it would also be remiss of me not to take the opportunity to make take a social call as well. So two for one, really.
Ah, you dance
How?
quite well.
Hmm?
She said, "You dance quite well."
What can I say? Uh, I had a very skilled tutor in choosing my words carefully.
Well, in the meantime, is there anything I can get for you?
Um, so out of character, would there be like a social expectation of requesting something?
You are a honored visitor whenever you come over. So, plus it's
But
what I can offer.
okay, but it isn't like it isn't an insult if you say no, I'm good.
No, it's not an insult.
No, I believe I'm fine for now. Um, I take it you've been getting along well in here then.
Oh, one could say that. My lessons progress smoothly, I suppose. How long have you known Master Hamas?
In, Out of character, what year was it when I first joined with Hatshepsut?
220 ish BC?
And
It's
right
been
now we're
100 years.
yeah, it's getting on 100 years by now. I we we make contact as soon as I enter the city. It's, it is always good for siblings in faith and clan to know where each other stands.
She leans forward, uh, kind of, and she's sitting what they call lotus style, legs crossed. She says, "How fascinating! 100 years and you still don't look a day older. No animal features either." And she goes, "You mind if I?" And she reaches out to you.
Um,
And if you don't say no,
I
she's gonna be up on her feet here in a second.
Yep. Unless it looks like she's going to like basically how it will be like keeping wary in case she is for some bizarre reason decides to turn it into an attack, but she's going to allow it unless that there's reason to indicate that.
Yeah, she's poking at your face. She's like literally going poke, poke, like and at the corner of your eyes, and she's like, "This is amazing." They told me that Actian was full of bear shit, but to see it in person, is really something else. And she's like just being intensely curious. She's like poking at your face, pinching at your skin, she's touching your hair, she's sniffing at you. She just seems like totally fascinated.
In my case specifically, sometimes I do get such features, and they tend to come out all at once when they do.
But only when you frenzy, right?
Indeed.
Oh, so I guess he didn't lie to me that much. Huh.
Well, as I said, uh, there's a lot of differences in various members of our kind, and this is a quirk that my particular case is a quirk that is not extremely common.
Well, alright, well, I guess I've pushed you far enough.
Oh,
Don't want to push my luck too far. I might overstep my bounds here, and I don't want to do that. And she sits down again.
oh, don't worry so much. I'm perfectly willing to answer any questions you might have.
Well, when I talk to you, the image I get is someone hopping across a stream, uh, trying to keep their feet dry by stepping on wet stones. You're slipping and sliding all over, trying not to fall into the river. And I feel like if I pushed you too far and you fell in, it might not go very well.
That is going to make her hat pause for just a moment as she tries to figure out, is she just talking like, purely in metaphorically that, or has she got something weird going on?
Um, right at this nice pregnant moment, the door opens and Ihamus comes in. The smell of beer and blood accompanies him. He puts a hand on the woman's shoulder in greeting, and then sits down across from you and reaches out and takes your hands as a sister. Says, "Well, greetings, Hatshepsut. It's been quite some time since you graced my home. I'm very pleased to see you."
Yes, indeed. It's been too long, really, but so it goes sometimes, I suppose. Just been talking to your new protege here. She seems like a remarkably keen find. I'm certain she will do well for you.
She is quite insightful, isn't she?
Hmm. But I digress. I suppose I should get the business part of this out of the way first, so that we can catch up more comfortably later.
Well, I'm all ears, please.
I was perhaps wondering if you noticed anything about the activities of the cult of, and out of character, it was Sol Mithras, he said specifically, right?
Yes. Well. Need him to roll. First, we're going to roll his politics. Let's see. Need wits plus politics. Roll. Well, he says, well, last I heard, Mithras himself was in the forest north of the Alps.
Interesting.
So I had not heard that he was here.
It may not necessarily be he himself. You know how these Ventrue can be. Their reach can... They can easily reach far beyond what is immediately around them.
So, the cult of Sol Mithras. Let me cast my mind back. And he thinks for a few moments. Sol Mithras, he has a common motif of battles and killing a bull, sacrifice. The legend is that he hewed himself from rock, carved himself from a mountain. I believe that he is gaining popularity in the legions. I had heard some stuff about the legions worshipping a Sol Mithras.
Interesting. Out of curiosity, have any of that cult's agents caused trouble for any of your own endeavors?
As a matter of fact, there is one. I've had to chase him away several times. A tall man. He learned not to bandy words with me. Unfortunately, I had to teach him the hard way. What was his name again? What was his name? Opius. That was his name. Opius Virginius Paetus.
I, now, I didn't get the name of the guy we saw, but I presumably know a bit of his description, so Hat will just,
You never actually got his name.
yeah, so Hat will just, say, by chance was he, and then give a sort of, brief description of him.
Yeah, your descriptions match pretty close.
Well, it's at least good to know that, he's not solely focused on us. As I might indicate there, he's been causing I and my coterie some trouble as well. Curious, really.
Well, let's say I would offer you some advice, and I'm certain you personally would take it. But your coterie has been quite difficult, it seems. You've made no progress in converting them. And
Indeed.
perhaps it was because of Agatha, I don't know. But they shunned me quite badly for a long time.
It is part of why I've had to be so cautious in attempts to poke and prod. They are not inclined to trust. They will trust me on other matters, but one gets a sense that they keep their guard up whenever I bring up such things.
I see. Well, tell them this. I have a small amount of experience dealing with this man. And I will offer some advice for a trivial boon from each of them. I believe if we phrase it in such a transactional manner, they may become more comfortable.
fair enough. I suppose I should go clear that up with them first. It certainly wouldn't improve trust for me to make deals on their behalf.
Of course, that's why I said you should phrase it to them in such a manner.
Um, I suppose I will need to head back at some point then. But first, as we said, it's been far, far too long. How have your endeavors been going?
Oh, as I said, as I got rid of, I abandoned my efforts to take over physical property. Such I received a far greater prize instead. All other things are going quite well for me, except for the minor annoyance, of course, that we just spoke about.
Indeed. During the as a subject of sorry, what's the gangrel's name? I keep forgetting.
The gangrel's name or the dude's name?
The girl's name.
Girl's name is ARLtR Crevenus.
Lafia, okay.
Is that
As the
right?
subject of Lafia comes up, would it be possible to try and convey, just with some body language, a question of how initiated is she? Just sort of,
Yeah, you
how
kind of
much.
you raise an eyebrow, kind of shrug shoulders, that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
how
How,
open?
how much can we say without potentially
Saying
causing an
anything at
issue?
all. That too.
Um, he smiles, a wide, truly happy smile, and actually allows his vampiric nature to appear. His fangs descend, and he takes on the full appearance of a Setite in its most comfortable form. The scaled skin, the maw, the tongue, the eyes. And he says, she knows much of the truth, as much as she can handle. We are not at the full culmination of faith yet, but it will be there shortly.
Indeed. Very good. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't cause any potential issues with your own plans on how to be instructing her. So yeah, there's going to be a bit more like just social discussion, and probably a lot of talking about probably going to be a conversation with both Ihamus and Lafia, just trying to get a sense of where they are right now, trying to figure out more about Lafia discreetly, because some of the things she said there were a bit strange.
Well, she hasn't. Okay, well, she's young. She's young, and Actian lied to her a lot.
Indeed, it is all too common for people to lie to the ones that they should be guiding truthfully.
But as I said, she has a gift for insight. She knew that Actian was using her. and she willingly came to me.
Indeed.
She progresses through the gates far faster than any student I've ever had before.
That is interesting. How's she taken to her own clan's her old clan's usual specialties?
Well enough. She sleeps in the dirt. Her skin is somewhat hardened. She calls the animals to her when she needs them. She has much to develop.
Of course, of course. But when she does, I imagine it will bring much to the cause. Anyway, so just some conversations like this go on for a while, and eventually Hat will get up. I should go to return to my coterie with the offer you gave.
Yes, do that. Larthia, would you like to walk her back? Just to keep her safe? Larthia's like, yeah, I'll do that. Go on, enjoy yourself.
All right. Good evening, brother. I'll be back. I'll be back soon. Oh.
That really fucking
Oh.
sucks.
Oh
Holy shit.
no!
Well,
Worst
good thing you
possible
sent her
roll.
with us.
You choose that then.
Well, I did ask. Well, I did mention in Discord. I wonder how much she knows about her war form.
She about to find out.
Who's Varform, by the way? Who are we talking about? The Gangreans?
Lathia, yeah.
Okay. I mean, is Lati angry to Hat?
I'm glad I sent her with you, Hat. Let's just say that.
And I'm glad that one of the things I bought in downtime was Serpentis 3.
Good luck. Good luck. Oh, okay, it's just one werewolf. You're okay.
Alright.
It's just one alpha werewolf.
How many are with you, Hatshepsut? You got Larthia and who else?
Both my protector ghoul. So, one dog and one crossbowman. Usually crossbowman, but crossbows. I'm pretty sure crossbows are considered under the no weapons allowed inside Rome clause.
Very much.
Yeah. So presumably not with a crossbow now, just a knife.
Alright, let's see.
You got this.
I don't have a picture for this lady yet, but
And maybe if you can capture the werewolf alive, she will also complete Albina's mission, and she won't need to capture another wolf. Well,
If it is a werewolf, I don't think I have the means on hand to restrain it alive. I've literally just got ag damage available.
okay. The two of you guys, your dog, your knifeman, and Larthia leave the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And as you are rolling out, you exit his domain, and you pass through a narrow alleyway with the buildings that kind of loom up over you.
Interesting.
Things feel dangerous here. There's forms sleeping in the alley. There's a couple people with torches, but sounds seem to fade away when you come into these man-made canyons. The only people out and about are the ones who are on the verge of death or would like to deal it. Have your dog roll perception and awareness.
Doggy, doggy. Does it have lower difficulty? Because of being a dog.
No, but he has a chance of seeing it where
Yeah.
nobody else does.
Yeah, it gives
Yeah.
him the opportunity to actually make the roll.
Exactly. To sense something.
Perception awareness, did you say?
Correct.
Diff 6?
Yes. All right. Your dog is getting very skittish.
Apparently, I had him marked with a wound penalty for some reason.
I don't know why. Take that wound penalty out and re-roll it.
Gets a botch.
There we go.
Okay,
Alright.
that's nice.
As you're getting ready to go through a section similar to the one you see on screen, actually, your dog starts looking around and starts growling. The hairs go up. Claws you get scrabbling at the ground a little bit. It's giving you the warning signal of massive predator.
Danger?
With that in mind, there are still people around outside, so I'll need to use the willpower spending version as well. I'm going to reflexively pop Serpentis free and spend the willpower to make sure that it is not immediately visible to those who glance at me.
Okay. People
Yeah,
don't really pay too much attention to you. They're actually looking more at the dog because, yeah, it's a freaking attack dog.
I'm going, and I'm just going to sort of look over to Lafia and my other ghoul, like, be ready.
When you look over, Larthia's not there.
Oh dear.
Oh shit, good luck.
Alright, roll initiative, please.
Oh boy!
She just abandoned you, or not, or not. Oh, that's nice. 10.
Alright, base 11. Alright, so the bad guy's at 20.
Shall I roll for both my ghouls as well?
Yes, please. Looks like
Is
you
it
and
20?
Larthia are both at 10.
Holy shit, the werewolf got 20?
Also, bad guys, you say? Plural?
Well, bad guy, 1. Singular.
I guess if it's an alpha werewolf, it can be considered as guys because of the power. So
First one is dog,
5 men.
and then for And for crossbow and okay, so me, Lafia, and the dog are all on 10. Fucking Archer is on 15.
Okay.
Now, if I'm looking at
Archer
that
gets to react
correctly,
first. He's going to react to the ambush. As you pass through, there is a alcove that appears to be darker than dark. And as you're going through, he turns, he looks, because he hears something. The dog is on edge, and this massive fucking form explodes out of the dark, headed for you. What does your ghoul do? He gets a chance to react because he's pretty close in initiative, so I'll give him a chance.
He is going to. Okay, so it seems like there's one werewolf.
Yep. Well, so far.
Okay. He's from. Fuck it. He's gonna
Sacrifice.
take his knife and try to tackle the fucking thing.
All right. So his knife is at hand. He attempts to spring out and tackle him at the same time as the wolf is. Contested strength and brawl.
Against werewolf. Good luck, man.
Or strength and melee. Whichever he has is greater. I don't care.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. So
Strength
contested
melee
brawl
or strength
melee.
brawl.
Yep.
Do you hear us? Okay, I don't think he hears us.
oh,
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. You can't hear us. Nope. So.
That was good.
Do
That
you
was
hear
good.
us?
Sensible,
Luke?
right?
Are you hearing us, Luke?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yes. So,
Oh.
roll. This is a contested roll. Strength plus melee or strength plus brawl. Whichever one he has, it's better. And remember his potence. Remember to add.
Did you hear
Roll.
that, Luke? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just
I believe
going
that.
to.
Oh no, it's
Fuck it. I'll just use the fucking less fiddly than the
Yeah.
less fiddly than doing it all by sheet. Okay, so that's 2 suck.
All right. So he is going to. He did not have his claws out ready for your protector. He was going for you. So this is going to be just sheer freaking impact from a shoulder, from getting a freaking World Wrestling Entertainment spear, bam, as he comes out.
hashtag edge.
So 7 extras. It's 6 extra successes because you're gonna have 2 to take away, on top of his 9. So he's rolling 13 damage.
Luckily, you roll your stamina to soak.
And this is bashing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Soak 3 bashing, and he is going to go rolling across the narrow alleyway and fetch up against a wall. But he's only got to soak 3. And he is knocked down.
Yep.
All All right, well, whatever his stamina is, which is not too bad, from what I understand.
Do you guys see your head?
I do not.
For the connection problems on his end.
Oh, he has fortitude too.
Isn't it?
He has? Oh
Yes.
shit. The ghoul, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, that's nice.
Why would the
Fuck,
werewolf
that's not
have
good.
fortitude? That ain't gonna happen.
I mean, look, it can happen at some point if you want, if you really want.
All right, so that was your ghoul's action. I'm
Test.
going to give him a immediate multiple action penalty to attack you, Hat.
Okay.
So his attack is going to be at difficulty 7, minus a dice, minus 2 dice actually. I'm going to give him minus 2 because he wasn't expecting that.
He wasn't expecting commitment, right?
Yeah, he was
Haha.
not.
But we got ghouls, man. We got ghouls.
Exactly.
All right.
We got ghouls for this, so that they throw themselves front of the danger, so we do not get hurt.
Diff 7, minus 2 dice.
Now the problem is still
Jesus.
yeah. I mean, look.
I'm not going to
Come
do
on,
a
this is
specialty on
third.
this, but he does hit for 6. What does Hatshepsut do? You can dodge, you can take it.
I don't have a chance to spend blood before it hits, right?
You had a turn or two of notice, so I'll let you spend 5 blood. You have the generation for that.
Okay.
You reflexively activated Skin of the Adder, so
Yeah.
All on stamina, probably. If you should.
I'm still gonna try to dodge, but at least this time, with dodging in my in fact no, because I don't have athletics, so I'm probably just likely to get myself even more hurt if I try to dodge. So yeah,
If you
I
got-
will.
you can try to block with Dex Brawl.
Yeah.
I-
Or
I will-
if you got
I will attempt to do that. Yeah. Difficulty.
Diff
6.
6. Yep. Yeah, so I gave him a penalty in the form of difficulty increase and dice because he literally had to plow through your bodyguard to get to you. So he was a little bit off balance, kind of stumbling as he plows through your guy, knocks him down. And he kind of stumbles a little bit, and he loses a little bit of his balance as he swipes
coming
at you.
I clicked the thing, so it should be making the roll now, but it isn't.
roll
Might
it
be lagging
again.
a little
Roll 20 does it. Roll it again. So
Okay, that's 3 successes, so I reduce his. Oh, there we go. That's where they all were.
Well, we're going to take the best roll. So he hits you for strength +2 +2. Nine, 11, 13. This is gonna fucking hurt, and I'm very sorry.
nah. You are going to roll bad.
1, 2, 3, 4. Soak 4 aggravated damage.
Yes, you rolled bad. Ooh.
Good,
Oh,
as I
shit.
said,
That
good
amount of
thing I got Serpentis 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's wait Head to roll bad with his soak.
I forget. Does armor boost apply to aggravated damage?
Actually, this is physically aggravated, so yes. But it is
Okay.
going to fucking destroy your armor. Your armor's gone.
Yeah. My basically heavy clothing. So yeah.
It
You
rips
are
it
now
to
naked.
pieces.
Whew!
You soaked
Yeah, because I put Putting it all into stamina was a wise move, probably.
Yes. And the good part about
Yeah.
Serpentis about this, diff 5 to soak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Heck
It's
yeah.
powerful. I don't know. This is better than Fortitude because, well.
Well, thing is,
It
Fortitude
does-
also works on fire.
True. But you need to roll for the fire on Fortitude. You cannot just auto soak
Right.
it with
So-
Fortitude.
Literally out of nowhere, Larthia reappears, leaping through the air from on high onto this guy's back. Claws, feral claws extended, leaps onto him. She's got bonus for being on his back, and she's targeting his head.
Is it +2 difficulty?
She gets 2 dice for being on his back, so roll 10d10.
Not resembling any kind of animal at this point? Just
No,
Has
but
its
she has protean
claws
claws
extended?
out.
okay.
So
Hello?
But no
1,
war
2,
form.
3,
So
4,
we
5,
actually didn't see
6.
her war form.
Okay.
So she strikes his head. She's gonna miss his head, and she's getting his back and shoulders because that's significantly more damage. But so with 6 successes, so she's rolling. She is rocking right now a strength of 4, 5, 6, 7. So 11d10 ag. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that sucks ass.
What's the damage roll again?
And he soaked all that fucking shit.
Damn.
That sucks.
The-
Alright.
The werewolf, you mean?
Hashtag
Yes, he
werewolves.
did. Alright,
Okay.
so
Oof, next round.
Hat, he fucking nails you. Boom! Rips your clothing to shreds. You bounce off the wall, but you stay on your feet and you're upright, scales shimmering in the tiny, tiny little bit of light available. You see Larthia just leap literally out of nowhere. She had obfuscated
Smart.
onto this guy's back. So she is like, her legs are wrapped around this giant burly freaking stomach. And she is just like hammering this dude. Bam, bam, bam. Trying to rip across his chest, his face, whatever she can reach. Your dog is going to try for a hamstring maneuver. What we're going to do is we're going to leave the dog out of this. It's not going to inflict much damage. I'm going to give the werewolf a -2 dice penalty on all attack rolls because of the dog. That's going to cut down the amount of rolls we have to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can just imagine the dog just latching onto its leg.
And unfortunately, we don't have the procedures available yet to give it silver capped teeth, so it can't actually do significant damage.
Damn, no doggy bling.
All right.
We have a wish now. We can make him a hellhound.
Werewolf is at difficulty 9 on all of his rolls.
She's not spending rage.
He's got multiple opponent penalty and the dog. So diff 9 on all of its attack on any attack roll. This is that's why they usually
by the
take
way,
attacks.
Is this a second round, by the way?
Yeah, new round.
Okay.
But so Werewolf's going first though. It's gonna have a -2 dice on every roll, and it's at diff 9. And its first action is going to be to grab and throw the creature on its back.
Makes sense. Oh shit, that's still good.
Well,
on diff 9, that's still good.
yeah, he misses his grip because she is attacking the ever-living fuck out of him. That's a contested roll. He goes to grab, and she's like, no, 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 no. Whack, whack. She starts attacking its biceps as it reaches around. She's like, oh, that's nice. That's now in my view. Boom! Rips a huge claw across it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 extra successes. So 5 extra. There it goes.
Oh shit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5.
Gotta.
You see, Hatchet said, you see a chunk of this thing's, a big chunk of furry arm flesh go flying past your face, and splats against the wall. And as it roars in pain, there's a huge chunk of flesh missing. And there is a grin of absolute fucking enjoyment on ARLtR's face. She is enjoying the absolute hell out of herself right now.
She must be feeling badass right
All
now.
right. Your ghoul gets up. He stands up. That's his action.
Mm-hmm.
He stands up and he shakes the. Oh fuck, that hurt. Shakes it off. Prepares himself. What are you doing?
So this is for what Hat is doing herself,
Yes.
right?
What's Hat doing?
All right. Spend 1 blood to proc Typhonic Maw, and then 5 into Dexterity. Oh no, in fact no. Let's go 2 into Dexterity, 3 into Strength, and then I'm gonna try and find room for the big bite.
There's lots of it. You got lots of legs to aim for and lots of chests to aim for.
Mm-hmm.
Dex Brawl. Diff 6. Base Diff 6. I'm trying to remember if this makes bites easier.
I think
it does.
I think
Technically, you're supposed to grapple before you bite. We're gonna bypass that
well,
because
Typhonic Maw also affects that.
Yeah, you don't need to grapple for Typhonic Maw because it's so big of a mouth. It's one of the benefits of the power.
But regardless, I believe it's Strength +1 damage. It's been a while since I rolled this, actually.
Are you rolling your
successful
bite
bites
damage?
cause 1 additional die of damage and initiated grapple automatically. So a bite is Strength +1 automatically. So Strength +2 +3 extra successes.
All right.
Serpentis is OP.
It is not OP.
It definitely becomes OP when you start combining it with other things. But on its own, it's just, enough to let you survive.
I don't know. Yeah, no more than survive right now.
There's a reason you don't hear about warrior followers of Set much, but there's a reason followers of Set regarded Set as a warrior. So what's your damage roll?
Oh shit, that sounds soaking.
What the fuck? Okay.
That was wrong. Oh no, that was correct. You rolled really
just poorly.
That is... Well, you can't win everything.
You didn't actually damage him. It just... The fur is so thick, you get a big old handful of sweaty, dirty wolf fur in your mouth.
It's like the inverse of that one sheep that had so much, wool that the wolves that attacked it couldn't even touch it.
Did we get the sickness out of those fur?
Alright, it's going to slam. It's going to slam a hand down on Hatchepset. Get off of me! Ah, boom!
Oh shit, with difficulty 9.
with 2, so he's going to hit you for strength plus 3 extra.
Does he get -2 for that?
No, not on damage rolls.
1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4, 5, 6, 5, 4. Soak 4 ag.
You got this. You got this.
Oh,
Bam!
yes.
Just fucking
Like I
enough.
say, this wolf was not expecting a fight like this. All right.
Yeah.
It's in it to win it. Normally, a wolf with this is a alpha warrior. I ain't fucking running from this shit.
Oh yeah, Foxy
It
or
regains some.
whatever it.
It regains some anger, and next round it's spending a bunch of that. It's gonna have 4 extra attacks next round. So this is a win or lose round right here. This is the last one.
All
Yeah,
right.
it seems fitting.
All right. Doing another contested get the fuck off of me roll. Oh, and I need to roll its stamina here.
To heal?
To heal a ag. Woo! Yeah, Hatshepsut, he hits you and you stumble backwards, and you look up, and that chunk of flesh missing from his bicep ripples, grows, and just knits itself together just like that.
Yeah, jeez. Maybe you should run and leave that gangrel, to deal with the werewolf.
That's what Larthia is. That's her thought. She's doing target attack to the eyes. Wolf, she is going to allow the wolf to get a hold of her and sink its claws into her.
Oh shit, Larty is being a real hero right now. Not many kindred would do that for other vampire. You got a keeper there,
1,
Ahemos.
2, 3, 4, 5, 4. She's got to soak 4 ag. She's going to spend a blood for 3 of that. So she takes 1, but she's target attack to the eye. She's spending a willpower.
Okay.
Good thing she did.
Is
1
it-
success.
Is it? Oh, so willpower isn't negated by the natural one there?
Now, I need people to survive, and I'm not being such a dick this time.
Okay. That's good to hear.
I'll bend the rules a little bit. All right, so Hatshepsut, you see her reach around, puts the claws across the face, and just lets her rip. Right across its eyes. It lets go immediately, hits the ground, grabs its face, blood pouring down. And Larthia goes, "Run! Run!" And fucking leaps off of the wolf.
Take the doggy.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm going to indicate for my 2 ghouls to follow me as well. Allow discretion to be the better part of valor here.
You
I'm taking-
you do the whistle. You take off running. You see Larthia does something weird. She grabs her claws and she rips it down her flesh a little bit, and she takes her blood and she starts spattering it along the walls. And then
What's
she
that for?
leaps up and climbs a wall. Boom, 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 boom. She just climbs a wall. And she's like, "Just get the fuck out of here! Just run!" She's spattering her blood as she runs.
I see
I
what
w-
she's doing.
I will do as she suggests and just say, "Yeah, make sure you get out of this yourself, okay?"
Yeah, you see her She hits the top of a roof, leaps on top of it, leaving smears of blood, takes off running.
I
Behind
mean,
you, you hear "Woo!" and "Roar!" and you swear to God you feel the ground shaking. You swear to Set you feel the ground shaking as this thing gets up and starts to run.
And we're scarpering
Right.
back home.
Yes, you get out safely. Um, when you have some time to think about it, you understand that she literally left a blood trail for the wolf to follow.
Yeah, that's what I thought she was doing.
she did.
Because she
I
can
mean, she
fly.
can. Yeah,
She
she
would
can
have
fly. Yeah, that's
waited
what was
there.
I going to say when Het said, get yourself safe. Like she can fly, you can't get you
There you go.
yourself safe.
Yeah.
You notice she didn't take time to explain. She just did it.
Yeah.
Did it.
Are we sure she's just a fledgling?
I mean, listen, as in character creation, you can easily start with protein 4.
So now I'm curious as to what her war form would actually be.
Well, she's not hiding it on purpose. We'll put it like that. She's not that. She's not that subtle yet.
No. I'm
She'll
guessing
learn.
she just hasn't fully explored it yet.
So yeah, my ghouls make out okay?
Oh yes, they're fine. The dog was, the whole fight snapping, barking, get between the wolf's feet. He couldn't get a footing. That's why he had the dice penalty. Did a damn good job.
Good dog, good dog.
Yes, very good dog. He deserves a treat tonight.
And and good crossbowman as well, to be fair. Like that initial tackle did probably make a significant difference. You both get extra awards tonight.
Good job. Now I'm not going to kill you both. I'm going to give you a small reward. Okay. Well, when Het arrives, I guess, Vlad is like,
Yeah, I can't believe
and this is
I
why.
rolled a 1. I'm like, are you serious, dude? Jesus Christ. Couldn't have just been some desperate people who wanted your freaking money. No. Had to be the worst case scenario.
It's good that you didn't roll 2 on that 1d2.
Yeah,
That would
that
probably
would've
be
really
2
sucked.
werewolves. Yeah, that would be 2 werewolves, and that's really a lot.
Oh yeah.
But
That's it. So
Yeah, keep in mind, Hat Person with blood, cuts, her freaking clothes have been literally ripped to shreds. Her ghoul has a huge freaking goose egg on his head from where he bounced off the wall.
Oof.
So in terms of useful news, Yahama said that he'd be willing to trade advice for trivial boons.
what happened to you?
Labiana.
Let's start with that, You can
it's gonna-
talk about politics later.
Yeah, upon Hat's
Alright.
entry, Labiana kind of spins around and she kind of nods. Yeah, we should talk about the obvious first. What happened?
A werewolf happened.
Labiana's eyes kind of widen.
Pie.
And of course, she kind of gets a bit sullen at the mention of the word werewolf.
Did you?
It's like, oh,
Did you? How did you get in that situation, may I ask?
All it takes is one wrong turn sometimes. Thankfully, Johannes' new protege is very exceptional, it seems. combined to get some gifts that I'd learned just last year, in fact, helped me survive the initial strike, and we were able to keep it down long enough to make our escapes.
I'm glad
It
to
is.
see.
It is good to hear. Well,
Labian.
I
Oh, I was going to say Labian manages a slight expression of relief and says, "Well, at least you came back alive."
I think you'll be pleased to hear that I have arranged to trade some favors to see a werewolf captured. Hopefully, when that happens, they'll be put in their place. And we are able to avenge the blood that they have shed.
Perhaps, but
listen. If you think that your tools, I mean, either your dog or your ghoul, if you want either of them to be more capable in such scenario again, you are most welcome to just ask for it, and I will make some few adjustments that can help them.
we'll talk about that at a later point. For now, though, I think they've more than earned some rest.
On that note, let's take 10.
Sounds good.
Okay, and we're back. So, you had just finished explaining why you need new clothes, and let's get back into it.
Yes, the point is, we all escaped alive. I feel like that should be considered a win, so to speak. And Johannes has had some small encounters with the very same man, actually, that took to insulting us, and he said that he would be more than happy to give advice and information in exchange for a trivial boon from each of us.
Information about what?
About
Well,
the map, I imagine.
just quickly while I remember, I'd literally just been reminded that Hatshepsut would have walked in without any clothes on, so Labiana would do what she normally does when she sees someone who has essentially been derobed for whatever reason, gets up and immediately takes off her cloak and puts it around her and sits back down.
We'll accept it though. She's perhaps remarkably unconcerned about it. Like she's just like, "What? Why are you giving it? Oh, right, okay, sure."
So, information about what?
Habit.
About this cult of Soul Mithra.
But that's not important to me.
Yeah, sure.
I
let's
don't
go
know
with everyone.
why. I don't know why.
I should correct myself. He said to my coterie, "You of course, as of yet, more friend of the group. So do not."
Oh, that's true. That's true. Sorry, I passed my boundaries.
I think we should accept the offer.
Nicodemus, were you about to say something?
Yes, we should accept.
Indeed. And yes, one thing that he did give away free. The man's name is Oppius Virginius Paetus.
Does the name rings any bells for any of us?
No, it's brand new.
And and one thing that is worth noting that he mentioned, Mithras himself isn't currently in Rome.
Guess
His
that's
child is
Anywhere near Rome
is
at all?
is Critias? Critias?
Crethius.
Critias. Is Critias in Rome?
Yes, he is.
Do we know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I believe it was the Alps that he said that Mithras was at.
The Alps.
North of them, yes.
Mithras's child is essentially in the Eternal Senate, so she is definitely in Rome and probably will be in Rome for the upcoming years. That's out of character me.
Indeed. So yes, well, initial plan is to go to see him as soon as I deliver this information, though I should probably clean up, and I think it'd be best if we took a different route than normal.
I would be inclined to agree.
Who is
Too much.
Who's Mithras's child supporting in the Eternal Senate? Which group?
I believe he's a member of the Eternal Senate.
He means what
Yes.
faction?
But in the Eternal Senate, is he a supporter of the prince or some other kind of group?
I pull up that document Chris uploaded a while back.
Well, if you roll an intelligence plus plus politics roll and get 3 successes on it, I'll tell you more.
Is that for each of us who can, or just
Pick one person and add 2 dice for helping.
Not have politics.
Intelligence plus politics.
my total pool is 6.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
that's
I'm
good
5.
that's good. 6 is good. You go for it. I got no politics, so I cannot help either case.
You beat me by 1, so I roll over to you.
Did you say diff 6 as well, Chris?
Yes, 6.
Nice.
All
You
right.
should have got this with the werewolf.
Oh well.
He is a scion, currently on the Road of Kings. So that's pretty much your answer.
Yeah, he is supporting the prince. He's in the Ventru group, essentially.
Well, what it tells us is, well, more what it tells us is that he is on a different road, but I believe it mentions that currently the Road of Sin and the Road of Kings have a sort of,
Hostility.
a weird sort of hostility / understanding.
I do not understand the concepts of other paradigms, so whatever.
Thank you. But it's your own.
Sorry, what did you say, Alvin?
Thank you. It's your own road that you follow.
My own road. My road is about transcending beyond the mortal shell. Ever-changing enlightenment.
Like Alexei.
Regardless, We will not. It, we will not force you to go with us if you do not wish, of course.
I can help you. I just do not see any reason to owe a boon for something I'm not interested in. But then again, he doesn't ask my boon, so again, I can help you. If there is something I can help with.
Do
Well,
you intend to go immediately?
I believe it would be best if only to check and make sure that Lafia is all right as well.
Why wouldn't she be? Oh, I don't even know who she is.
But yes, we will call if we have need of your assistance. We will call on you later, Vlad. For now, though, it would probably be best for us to go, so to minimize any confusion over who owes what.
Of course. Feel free. Do not get caught by the lupines this time.
Oh, I have no plan to.
Again, if you need some adjustments, feel free to come to my home. My door is open to you. You just need to ask for it.
Mhm. Of course. And so that will be, since we're all going to be going. Vlad will need to probably say goodbye to Vlad for the night, and yeah.
All right. As a group, you all head out back down to Ihamus's place.
Minus me. Or well, I'm not part of the group, but yeah.
Not yet, anyway.
Things seem to be quite smooth, easy. Things are rather calm. In fact, you see more vendors out than usual. It seems like the exact route you take is a pretty good one for tonight, anyways. So you guys come on up in, and the servant opens the door. One of the faceless, constantly rotating servants. Not literally faceless.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Face off.
So he brings you guys on in. You set you all at a long table with a couple of candles on it. This is a more business-like setting, less intimate, less familiar than you're used to getting. But he has a smile on his face, calm, relaxed. He sits down, pulls up his stool. He says, "It's wonderful to see you all again as a group. I was given to understand you had a new acquaintance with you. Is he not going to be joining us tonight?"
He had some other business to attend to.
Yes, and currently he's more someone we deal with than a full member of the group currently.
He had no
Well,
desire to self-involve in this.
I do understand. So, to be clear, you are coming to me for a little bit of knowledge about this new annoyance in our lives.
Yes, though I do feel compelled to ask before we begin. Has Lafia made it back all right?
Yes, she's resting comfortably from her injuries. They were not severe.
She handled herself well.
She managed to give me some of the story. Perhaps at a later date you will have time to fill me in on some more.
Indeed. But yes, back to business.
He appeared on the scene a few months ago. Uh, he tried to have some rallies and such outside of my haven here, and I drove him away with some harsh words. And I noticed that some of my more reliable contacts and allies had came to me and were talking to me about weird rumors they were hearing, and people began not wanting to return my notes or come to my parties. So I did a little investigating and pulled a few strings. And as it turns out, this Opius uh, was using friends of his own to research and attack my friends. So my advice to you is that you attend most diligently to your own business out of an abundance of caution that he will be doing the same to you.
Annoying little pest that he is. If only he could just be dealt with. Realize. I imagine if he's able to uh, has his connections to harm your reputation, then he must be indeed the ghoul of someone powerful like creatures.
Yes, it took me some effort, I will admit, to stamping out his annoyances, and he appears to have moved on to other targets. And he
Indeed.
gazes meaningfully at you guys.
Mm. You you have any idea who he might be working for?
Well, if his rants are to be believed, the cult of Sol Mithras. Unfortunately, I've had to spend my time repairing the damage he did, and I have not been able to investigate him any further.
Fair enough. This at least gives us a bit more. Still, this does give us some useful insight. Thank you, brother.
Have you spoken with the man personally?
Well, as I said earlier, I had some harsh words for him to drive him away. But no, we have never had dinner or drinks together.
Is there any specific way mm, he impressed you with? The particular manner, particular weakness, particular preference?
Well,
Or is it
I apologize, but I did offer advice on how to deal with him, and not a dissertation on all of my interactions.
fair enough?
Anyway, I believe that is our curiosity stated. Um, we should be going. We should be making track soon. It seems the streets are a bit more dangerous than usual these nights.
Yes, well, it's I guess it's to be expected when you are the most populous and richest city in the world.
Because
It's bound to attract certain elements.
Fair enough.
they will always have the time on a city and numbered. They will not be able to animate them forever. They are a plague that will be stamped out.
In this manner, or in this matter, I fully agree with you. They are a pest and a plague that should be wiped from the face of this earth.
Mm. But yes, I will. I will of course. I will of course be back before too much time passes again to give you a fuller story of what happened and just how much she esteemed herself.
I look forward to it.
Good evening, brother.
Good evening. And to the rest of you, a good evening as well.
Thank you and good night.
Try your night.
Nods briefly at Arhamus. Likewise.
Ihamus respectfully returns the gesture, sees you out the door.
No, sorry, what?
Alright,
Um,
so you guys are free
and
to act
Haven.
however you need to act.
I need to go feeding because yeah,
Takes quite a
I
bit of blood.
used up a lot of blood in that encounter.
Oh, you mean in character feeding? Okay, I was like, oh, you need to do that.
Alright. So feel free to make a feeding roll. The same restrictions apply. It is still difficulty 6 to find clean, fresh blood. And difficulty 4 if you just want any old thing. Very nice, very nice. That's 10 blood if you don't want to harm anybody or a chance to risk hurting anything.
That's
Um,
5 1d100 for you.
I think I'll play it safe now. Besides, I just got the dot in the path that says murder is bad, kid. So
Yeah. All right. So he's giving you some advice. Look to your domains.
Yeah.
I was
Kinda-
thinking about seeing if other cults, not just Canaanites, but on average, are having any problems with this Mithras cult. And if they don't, make them think like they do. Maybe we can find some allies in outrooting the Substart
Well,
cult.
Essentially, out of character, I'll just say Arhamus seems to be supporting something that Labiena suggested earlier. Focusing in-house, make sure their support of us is strong,
yeah, we need to.
essentially unbreakable.
Yeah, one thing that we we should probably also look into figuring out more ways to sustainably, provide give if we can figure out any more ways to provide on our end for the cult, without just breaking our own bank, because that seems to be part of what he was exploiting. Like he was literally saying, "I will give you food if you join us."
Perhaps something that could be achieved. And he's also mentioning the idea of taking the isolation from the herd. Perhaps something that could be achieved would be to expand the code to open it up to the entire families of its members. Make it more, make it less female focus and more focus on the family.
Hmm.
Do we actually know what this whole cult is about, or is it only about giving out food to the needy greedy? Perhaps we can sabotage some of their feasts to make them feel like unable to deliver.
That is a solid enough idea.
Hmm.
I'd be. I don't want to, as to expansion. I don't want to shift the cult too much. I believe it's important to keep it grounded in at least somewhat grounded in its origins. But I don't know. We could look into ways to mm, perhaps open a little more. But I digress.
We can
Okay.
kill two birds with one stone. Why won't some of the more theologistic people among us seek out what other cults are there? Perhaps there is some ground to develop on both merits for the alliance and on the grounds of self-development, because we could reflect what they are offering and see what kind of experience they have in reaching to people. And the rest of us, perhaps we can look among the areas we influence and see if any of the Mitrusts appear there. If there's any kind of leverage we can get over them. What kind of information
Well,
about the cult and stuff?
I hate to point out the obvious here, but I was listening to what Ihamus was telling us earlier. Reminded me of something I said back in the Haven before we left, and it's got me thinking. We need something on our end. You know, it seems this Opius seems to be bent on tarnishing our good name by spreading dissension amongst our subjects, our disciples, if you will. I'm thinking, not sure if we've, out of character, I'm not sure if we've actually ever done anything like this with our subjects, but could the use of blood bonds perhaps assist us in this in some way?
To bloodbound the entire cult to us would be a doable thing. We could have it as part of one of the rituals.
You'll run out of blood before you know it.
It's a messy solution. I would much rather look at other options first.
I mean, even if we had some kind of communion, I don't think they're going to need much blood out of character. Or what I'm thinking?
No, they don't need much. Once you get them to step one, it's just regular interaction with you will maintain it. It's just maintaining them as a ghoul where it gets super expensive.
I believe there's too much room for possible backfiring in that plan, but I do appreciate the concept.
Something that is also possible to connect them with us is, instead of trying to bring in their families, try to pull them further away from them. Try to make us the only thing that they have left, the only connection that they have. Still then from the rest of society.
On the one hand, that might keep those who have already joined up with us in our faith. On the other hand, it is very likely to make others far more, shall we say, aggressive in opposition of us.
Certainly attack this on many fronts to make this work. Whatever it is we decide to do, of course.
Is it just really quiet here?
Yeah,
A little bit.
I think we're just all thinking.
Anna wants to do.
I mean,
Listen,
In that regard.
not need to find anything that is like very much a long-term solution, because from what we understand, from what Ahams told us, if we manage to show ourselves to be a tough enough target, he is going to eventually move on. So all that we need is something that is temporary, something that uh, until he loses interest on us and finds someone else to bully.
Exactly. I mean, what better way to defeat someone than to essentially destroy the image they're trying to portray of somebody? You know, a means of trying to undermine, you know,
I could always dominate.
explain this properly, but try and destroy the image is trying to give his followers, potentially make them
one thing that I think
not believe in him and come to us.
one thing I think it would still do us good to try and fully figure out. We have hints, but not the full tale yet. Is under whose orders is he acting, and
I
also,
could dominate.
and also, how is he acquiring the necessary supplies to provide these feasts?
The next time you meet with him, if I am along, I could dominate him to sharing his secret with us.
Hmm.
Dominating him directly might be risky. Perhaps someone of his accomplices.
I could also, after it is done, wipe his memory from the event.
Way to do it.
I was thinking more about if he really is a servant of Mithras or Critias, he may be properly conditioned to resist, dominate from others. Considering that he's an important figure for the cult, so perhaps targeting someone lesser first would be more subtle approach. At any rate, it highlights that we lack information, so we should start from bottom to top, see if we can find some minor associates, track them, follow them, see what this Mithras cult is currently working on, and see if we can learn what exactly are they planning to do with us.
Indeed.
Perhaps have explore the possibility of sending someone in on the side. Another potential member, perhaps.
Another note, a thought I just had. What's the general understanding in the broad public of health? Like how, health and basic medicine, not stuff that you'd go to a doctor for, but first aid, stuff that would fall under that category.
Very little. You can either work or you can't. That's their understanding of health.
Just thinking, taking the time to teach some of our followers some minor things in that regard might actually help improve their loyalty, and especially if we can focus on things that are relevant to the cult. So stuff to aid in stuff to help in dealing with pregnancy, and that kind of thing.
what's the word? Midwives.
Yeah. And then if they say, and then when they say, oh, they're just, stealing away other people's lives, it's be like, no, we're teaching them how to be, we're showing them the way to be better mothers, etc., etc.
I believe you, Hatshepsut already took part in the delivery, Nicodemus already took part in the delivery of a baby of one of the members of the cult, right? If state cult member is still alive, I think that happened quite a while ago, so she's likely dead by this point. But perhaps the child might be still alive and we can present it as some form of um, paragon of the cult or something like that. Perhaps try to present the idea of having your child delivered by one of us as something to be aspired.
Yeah, that child is still alive. I think I remember it.
We can try to perhaps show him as being blessed, try to what's the word? Watch out for him, try to uh, make him wealthy and powerful, and try to present that as being the result of the blessing that is granted by having delivered by us. Poster boy of the cult.
It's certainly an avenue we can look into. So, out of character, I'm suddenly remembering, because there's actually a thaumaturgical ritual that lets you bless the baby at the cost of capping their humanity at 6 or something.
That's like a really advanced ritual, I think.
I think it's I forget what rank it is, but it's definitely it's high, but I don't think it's elder level. Is the surprising thing. But yeah, no, like still, I mean, even still, it would take a long time to develop such a thing, and honestly, I feel like the trade-off is significant enough that Hat would have qualms about it. Actually, it's like. Because it doesn't just apply to humanity. Theoretically, I don't think it just applies to humanity score that it caps.
We're arranging a feast for our own cult members. We'd have the wealth or the finances to be able to pull it off, but something worth considering.
I just had
Just
the
to have
thought.
word spread around.
I just had the
we look
thought.
after our cult members.
Vlad owns a farm, right?
Did you say the Vlad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a farm. Why?
Fuck it. I can start using my magic to make your start improving yields, and we can turn that into both a source of revenue and something to provide to our followers if we can arrange a deal with you.
I think you can arrange a deal, but it will be a steep one. He would require literally several experiments to be given to him, sacrifices, and many more. Because we are talking about the Zamishi domain here, so it's going to be really hard, steep.
So Labiana thinks about it and she says they'd have to be live ones, wouldn't they?
All right, so you guys talk about this for a good part of the night. You go to your day slumber. You wake up the next evening down at Blood Point.
Yes. And I gotta roll another dice now. Please, 9. Oh, fuck.
A 4.
Four is here. Oh, I think you are checking right now.
Okay, so this has happened to you guys before. This person comes up to your group haven about an hour after sunset. You've never seen this person before in your lives. Has a very long, dark hair, very sharp nose, uh, very thin, scrawny style body with a big pot belly, and spindly legs. This figure hops out and claims to be Vlad, but the voice is the same.
Fair enough.
I imagine there's missing.
Glass.
I imagine the guy's missing one eye.
Yes, the guy is
Yeah.
missing the same eye.
So I'm sure
I
you
really
recognise that.
think we should settle on some kind of password. It's going to bite us in the ass one day. One day.
Most definitely.
Of course, it is understandable. Let's make the password metamorphing.
You couldn't have thought about any more obvious one.
What?
I think it's quite fitting password.
Perhaps the name of our late member, of one of our late members, like Lucius or Agatha.
Or Sybil?
Yes.
Let's make the password
I-
Lucius. I like it.
I like the Sybil. Let's make it Lucius then. When I come, I will name Lucius, so that you know that it is me. How did your last night went? I had to, of course, be away from you, and so I do not know if I should know anything.
It's some interesting information that's come out. Apparently, this man's been acting as a thorn in the side of several cults and general people's spheres of influence. Yahamas had to make clear that he wouldn't be troubled.
That sounds like something every kindred would like to happen.
Indeed, but the advice we were given was indeed to focus on protecting our own assets from depredations, and we've also decided that we really need to try and figure out more about precisely what his motives are.
And who's backing him?
Yes.
Do you mean the
Information
cult of Mithras?
Yeah, because
Yes,
Mithras
who's- operation.
of course, isn't actually in Rome currently.
Yes.
Well,
More often
So-
than not, anything occult that's based on a figure in particular, the figure is usually not involved. So
I guess I don't really understand much about cult building. But either case, it seems like Ihermos has somewhat a common view, perception with me. Just like I suggested defense and focusing on our own assets. We just essentially say the same thing I did. Yes, it is quite important to keep your own power safe when you are already in dire situation. As far as I can tell, the prince is not going to take you under his rulership yet, and you missed your first chance. You
Such
really
is our
should
life.
make sure. Such is our life. But I'm not a person who fiddles with politics, so I cannot really help with it. But I do know a few things about keeping one's domain and assets under check.
Right. About this time, Gregorius and Albanus Childa Catalina show up. They both have worried looks on their faces.
Agnes looks over to Catalina, opens the door to Luca, e Luca forward forms on whole face. Are you alright, my child?
Um, do you have a private place where we can talk, or do you want to do some personal business out here in the open?
She raises an eyebrow at the idea of personal business, and she looks over to the others. Do you mind if I to take my leave for a moment?
Please,
Of course.
I don't mind. Privacy is important.
All right. So she lays some stuff out in front of you, some books and stuff, ledgers looks like, and she says, "So my husband has been going over these ledgers, looking at your income, and we've noticed some irregularities. It looks like some of the investments you made that proved to be extremely reliable, the vendor has not been paying into the accounts over the last month or so the way he was supposed to. It's a significant shortfall. And last week, another vendor did the same thing. I don't know how you want me to handle it."
So it begins.
I understand. I believe I know what's the source of these troubles. If you'd like to join me in the conversation with the rest of my coterie.
"Yes, sire, of course. Whatever you need."
She guides her back to the group. It seems like this uh, Oppius has already made his first move against us. He seeks to cut off our income. Several of the vendors that I have been relying upon for my wealth have started coming up short in the payments or not paying at all.
He
Yeah. To
does
have a chat
come.
to these vendors.
Yes,
You should, indeed.
I'll be paying them a visit personally.
Kindred is going to be a problem for you. And considering my ties with you, he might start to become a problem for me too. I like to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm going to help you if you want to deal with this person before the snake gets big enough to bite me as well.
Any assistance is appreciated.
Of course, for sake of clarity and professionalism, I'm not going to risk anything major for me to help you. So do not question my commitment.
I do not expect you to risk yourself for this matter.
Regardless, I believe we're. Where to begin then?
Well,
Well,
And
Nicodemus
what does
Gregorius also comes in,
yeah
and
what does he have to say?
he says the same thing. Can we talk in private?
Sunday.
He pulls out a single letter as opposed to the giant stack of numbers that Catalina brings in. And he says, this was delivered to the Collegium this morning. The man that I've placed in charge to watch it during the day has told me that a gang has been staying outside the doors and terrorizing anyone trying to come in. And they are demanding a huge ransom to leave us alone.
Interesting. Seems to be the same source as the other problems. We'll deal with that. Thank you for bringing this to my attention.
No,
That's
so
all
I
he has to
don't.
say about it. He trusts you.
Who did we
We'll
lose?
figure something out.
We will handle this.
I suppose the first thing for us all to do is to go out, touch base with our various contacts and people we have dealings with, and also our with our court
Alert
members.
them of
Well,
what's been
first
going
figure
on.
out how much which ones have been approached already and which haven't. Then sort of like give sort of explanation, reinforcement, etc., to make sure that they don't fall so easily to
Deception.
do whatever this guy is salad.
Deception.
He wants to harm each one of yours assets. That means he needs to draw a thin line, and that is actually a good thing for us, because surely he could defend much easier if he focused at one of us one at a time.
If only we had taken the Diogenes approach and had no assets to attack.
Yes, we do
Maybe
that.
we should.
Don't worry, I was just making a dumb joke.
I would actually expect Nicodemus to make that joke.
I happened to watch a clip recently that mentioned Diogenes, so it's on,
Okay, so we need to have Albina and Nicodemus. I feel like I could help Nicodemus's problem a little easier compared to Albina's.
You're beginning to hear noise outside the building.
Oh boy.
It doesn't
Kind of
sound like
noise.
violence, but a crowd.
I will activate Obfuscate. Obfuscate 2.
I will perhaps somewhat against better judgment, guard myself and head out to see what's going on. Subtly activating Serpentis 3, the subtle version, just in case.
Okay?
Are we now going to stay inside the building for now? But she's going to be keeping an eye, like peeking through the windows and stuff like that. Keeping an eye outside in case fish needed.
Understood. So, as you open this crack open the shutters, and maybe open the front door, go upstairs to the apartments and open a window or what have you, you see there is a man um, standing on top of a wooden box, and he is shouting at the crowd, and the crowd is seems to be listening. Men of Rome, do not be fooled. This house of charlatans and liars behind you exists only to take your wives, to remove your children from your homes. Do not allow them to reach and tear you away from your place as the head of the family. They seek to replace you all, and so on and so forth in that vein.
How long does it seem like he's been standing, and does it seem like he's going to be here another while?
Gregorius and Catalina did not mention it when they walked in, so he hasn't been here long.
Okay. How many people are directly around him?
15
And
or 20 at the moment.
okay, is it like tightly packed on there, or is there some kind of distance?
It's not too tightly packed. Of course, the first, 10 people are like jammed together listening to this guy, and then the other 10 are just kind of milling around, in the back.
I want to. Nicodemus wants to act while this is hot, and would wish to, leave through the backside, melt into a crowd, probably wearing a fake mask through obfuscate, assuming there are no dogs.
No, there's no dogs. You will need to roll for Obfuscate 3.
And approach close enough to try and pariah scares his speeches, inflaming speeches.
Okay. Yeah, he's reading off a sheaf of notes. He's got some.
But expression is all that matters.
Yeah. And it's on and on in veins like this. They seek to turn your women against you, and he doesn't want to make it sound good, so he doesn't want to talk about how they're having, tremendous lesbian sapphic relations inside the house, Doesn't want that. So he is definitely, but he's definitely going on and on about they are usurping your place as head of the family. Do not allow them to speak to your wives and children. It will only harm them.
The goal for this is to pick a fairly ordinary face of a citizen, one that would be easily swayed by those words, and seemingly radiate the impression that he's just one of the bystanders coming in to listen what this is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. You do this a lot.
And all acting like, maybe there is some sort of merit to what he's saying. Or creeping closer to him just enough to touch him.
Wondering if
Yeah.
walking out
Well-
there at some point and
Well,
casting ore might be worth a shot.
well,
Trying
yeah.
to
In fact,
dissuade them from believing his lies.
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that subject, I was waiting for others to finish. I am going to try to pop a presence one or give an impression of someone who cares.
Okay. All right. So Labiana and Hatshepsut, make your spend your blood point and make your roll. Nicodemus will require a Dex stealth roll to squeeze your way in rather casually and reach out to grab him, just like tug at his clothes or what have you.
So what did Laviana say? By the
She
way,
wants to
I
pop
can't
all.
hear it. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't see me, right?
Oh, please. Please, please. No,
Oh
they don't.
fuck!
Yes, it's
Charisma
a bot.
perception div 7.
Oh man.
Sorry. Do they hear me? Do they see me?
No, you're on obfuscate too. Nobody can see
Okay,
you.
so I'm
Oh, there's
okay
one.
because I want to hide. I don't want them to see me.
And what? I'm going to spend a willpower point for an automatic success. This one?
All right. So Hatchet
That's a
said
punch.
outwardly nothing happens. Nobody like turns to attack you or nothing. You don't know this, but they are immune to your presence for the scene.
That's 2 successes.
All right. What is the impression you're trying to give of Laviana?
I have to be very careful with this. She is trying to give the impression that I suppose she's just going to tell everyone to not to believe what he's saying.
Okay, so
essentially.
you are.
That's...
Are you trying to appear annoyed, motherly,
No?
caring?
Yeah, sort of motherly. She's going to try and address them like she would address their own cult members in a sort of a caring, motherly, showing
Okay, I can
them
understand
why.
that. All right, so give me a little speech and then make a charisma plus leadership roll plus your presence rating
Okay.
at difficulty 8. That's 1
May
for the mask and 1 for the flaw that you have, eerie presence.
may I also make such a roll?
Allow Labiana to do her efforts first and see if you have to
Yeah.
try.
Alright, so she sort of stands up, gathered crowd, attention. She says, "Good people, we are a group that cares about our people. We are a people about family. We keep families together. We are a family. Tearing families apart would be against everything that we believe in. Our members come to us as children. We care for them as if they were our own. Don't listen to what other people tell you about us. Hear it from us. Believe in us. We are here to look after you. If you allow us."
I think that was a nice speech.
Something along those lines.
I think that was a nice speech.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make your roll. You're trying to calm the crowd.
My sheet. It's correct. Charisma, leadership.
Yeah, charisma leadership. Difficulties 8. Again, that's +1 because of the mask and +1 because of the flaw.
That's alright. And you said also adding...
Add your presence rating.
Presence rating. So I'm just going to roll this normally.
Would she get like another bonus dice for the roleplay? Like a bonus dice for the roleplay?
Well, I will if it's a botch, I'll make sure that it's not terrible result because of the role play.
Oof.
Bad luck.
Did you spend a willpower? Did you spend a willpower?
This time.
No, I think she spent one for the all roll. All
I
right.
did.
Yeah, you start making your speech, and one guy turns around and he goes, he looks at you and he goes, "Hey, Grandma, I told you I was coming to bed later. Get your ass back in the house." And everyone turns around and starts ignoring you again. There's that mistaken identity flaw for you.
Yeah, I keep forgetting I have that.
Everyone looks back to roll and they see Nicodemus has managed to squeeze and worm his way into the very front row. And there's a couple of people just right there who could reach out and touch him, and Nicodemus slaps his hand or what have you across the man's shoulders or legs, whatever he can reach.
Yeah, just a little. What's the roll? Manipulation plus empathy.
All right. And now to roll their amazingly huge dice pool of 2 dice. Well, we're going to roll a crowd dice first of perception awareness to see the eye thingy.
What eye thingy?
Third eye to activate.
Your eye thingy?
Third eye opens.
In Paradise Keras? Yeah, you're probably right, although this is not mentioned.
Anything over level 1 makes it open.
Yeah,
Only briefly,
okay.
but still.
Okay,
Well.
I suppose he would make an attempt to somehow conceal it.
I'm going to make this difficulty 8, and they have an amazingly huge dice pool. And now for the preacher. Again, diff 8.
Okay, whilst this is going on, I'm just gonna ask, albeit a
Keep forgetting about this. It's rarely mentioned for most tasks.
wouldn't it be possible to roll that charisma leadership roll again at high difficulty?
So you're going to make a contested roll now, as the two of you are preaching back and forth across each other at the crowd. And your first attempt, they were just like, yeah, whatever. And they all kind of turn around to ignore you.
Does head speech give essentially head action to Labiana?
Well,
Like
Hat
extra
hasn't made a
bonus
speech
dice?
yet, and Labiana is like, no, I got this.
Okay.
Unless you want to let Hat take over. That's totally up to you.
I suppose we can both try simultaneously.
So, I mean, exactly
One of us has to.
simultaneously might be a bit much, but we can maybe trade back and forth.
All right, so one
too
person
bad we
make a
can't-
roll. Add a dice to help. I would assume that's going to be Hatshepsut.
We might do it
And-
that way this time.
Just as a note, one particular point that I'm going to be having on is, and I'm sure you would know all about family. I'm sure you've been helping your cult members deliver their children.
I should emphasize, you have no idea who this guy is. You've never seen him before.
True. So I guess I'll keep it still broader and just sort of like.
Yeah, he has not mentioned Sol Mithras at all. This is not obvious. You don't know who this guy is.
But it'll still be sort of like focusing on like, and I suppose you must know all about family, huh? And then basically grilling whatever he responds with. Charisma leadership, right?
Yep.
+2 was
Plus
that?
1. Plus presence rating, because you didn't activate all successfully. So you don't get the bonus.
sadly.
Yes.
Too bad I can't give him mine.
Well, his is a difficulty 7. Yours is a diff 6.
Do you have a special?
All right, so you guys start going back and forth at each other. Oh, yeah, look, see? They're trying to emasculate you. Look at them, trying to take away your manly power. And you respond with,
Well, for one thing, if your manliness is really that insecure, then you may have bigger problems than us, I'm afraid.
and the crowd immediately starts busting out laughing.
Make a joke about his small dick. That always works.
Yeah, and basically, she's probably going to be spending a lot of it, like, almost playfully, messing with the guy, just making him look like a joke more than anything else. Stuff along that vein. And, would the eloquent specialty apply here?
Yes, it would.
So that is actually a total of 5 successes.
Yeah, you proceed to quite thoroughly rip him a new one. And eventually you drive him away in shame. And he's just like, fuck this, I'm out. Grabs his box and hauls it off with him and begins walking away. And the crowd kind of jeers after him. Yeah, you get out of here. Yeah, you're worthless. Woo, boo. Booing at him.
He got the crowd, used the chance, recruit these people to our cult.
Is it possible to trail him, see if he meets with anyone?
Yeah, sure is. He walks somewhat through the city. Eventually, he goes to one of the big apartment insulated complexes and goes inside.
I would probably have mentioned. I feel it's going to be relevant now, but I feel like Hat would probably have mentioned it at some point. Or no, may not have necessarily mentioned it as an overall thing, but you'd know that if you're tailing someone, grab something of theirs, and she can use scrying later.
Can Alvin also go into shadow form and try to follow him?
Yeah, he doesn't dip and duck and dodge. He just walks. He's pretty easy to keep track of.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm going to be in shadow form.
I suspect he's kind of worthless and not worth the effort. Kind of like pay freeze to see how much resources we've wasted on him.
Yeah, it's almost like he was hired.
I need to drop out some guys.
Okay. Have an experience point for tonight. 1 XP. That's for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to continue finishing up here, things here while I'm gone, that's fine. Just to note that Hat's basically going to be focusing on touching base with everything back home. Just basically doing cleanup. So yeah. Bye guys.
Bye.
Well,
Gotcha.
Yeah, he goes back basically to where you would assume he lives. He goes into an apartment complex.
And he carried his box with him all this while.
Yeah, the whole way.
she likes his box.
This is
Okay,
my box.
it's not free.
There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Exactly.
there are paintings on it.
I mean, it's only sensible if it's a decent box. I mean, it takes an hour to make a really good sturdy box that you can stand on. I mean, it can collapse, right, if it's poor. And then he looked dumb.
Now, Chris has to write a story about that box. You made it important.
Yes.
No, your next character will be the box.
All right. Yeah, so he goes inside this apartment complex. The door shuts very loosely behind him. as he trudges inside.
I guess there's no point in breaking into stuff.
Alvin can get him. He's Shadow.
Same.
She is Shadow.
She's going to be following him inside the apartment.
Okay, yeah, he goes into he goes inside and he goes up the steps to not quite the top floor, about halfway, and enters one of the crowded apartments. There's 3 or 4 other people inside of it.
Does they look to be like his family, or does they look to just be people that are occupying the same apartment?
Yeah, probably his family. There's a woman and 2 teenagers.
Does there look to be anything around him that, like any instructions for him to follow?
Just what he's holding in his hand. He had some papers in his hand.
She's going to keep close to him, see if she can overhear anything, or if she can see an opportunity to get a look on what is on his hand.
Yeah, he sets the box down, sets the papers on top of the box, kisses his wife. They talk for a couple of minutes. Then they stretch out and they blow out the little tiny lamp they were using, and apparently get ready to fall asleep.
Once they do so, she's going to come out into her human form, and she's going to take a look at the papers.
All right, just give me a single dex stealth roll. +1 for obfuscate as well. I'm assuming you're going to use that.
Yes. No, I do not have obfuscate. I do not have obfuscate.
I'm assuming that you are just going to automatically use that to dampen the sounds.
No, I do not have obfuscate.
He doesn't have obfuscate discipline.
Or no, sorry, not obfuscate. Obtenebration. I don't know.
Oh
why.
yeah, definitely.
I completely blanked out, and I was like, why is he saying he doesn't have that? I know he has it. All right. And you have dark sight, so you don't have to light it. You don't have to light anything. So yeah. Ah, yeah, you're perfect. You pick the papers up. You gaze through them. There are notes for a speech, a couple of key points to hit, and directions for how to get there.
There seems to be anything that would hint at some inner knowledge of occult. Anything that would hint that we might have an insider, that we might have a mole or something like that.
No, it's literally just kind of the key points of men. They're coming for you. They're taking away your wives. They're going to and it's a speech kind of designed to hit the key points for people who are afraid of female independence.
Okay, so no inner workings of the cult.
No, nothing at all.
Okay.
Stupid question. Do you have Auspex Orbiter?
No, sadly I do not.
Damn.
Okay, she's going to. I do not know if the note will count as being a personal item for scrying, but she's going to take it. And she's also going to take the opportunity to feed on them, on the sleeping couple.
Okay, yeah, you can do that without waking them up.
Taking 4 blood points from them, and then she's going to leave.
Perfect. You get back with no issues. Unfortunately, I will say the notes are not going to be of any use in scrying. They're just some pieces of paper, some scribbles. There's no value attached to them.
There's nothing we can garner from, say, Spirit's Touch.
No, there's not really any strong emotions associated with it.
Maybe the moment the tree got cut, that might be an emotionally important moment.
Maybe some shame
Yeah,
at
that-
being thoroughly humiliated in a verbal battle with a woman.
Sort of no sort of history as to?
No, not really. But it's not like he. I mean, they made it pretty obvious they're already coming to attack you guys. So
Yeah.
Yeah, this
I
is
thought we
not
might have got an
hiding it.
indication as to whether the note had been written by someone else and handed to him, or
it's
I've no
impossible
idea.
to tell.
But considering the reaction he had against, the head's argument, I think that the thing is written by someone else, probably by someone smarter and with more witsy. But
Oh,
that's my
That's what I
definitely.
guess.
figured. Given that it sounded almost identical to what the other guy was sprouting, it's like it sounds scripted.
I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
that's a good way to put it.
propaganda is scripted, so it makes sense.
All right, I think that's it for tonight. That's a good closing point. Um, Hope you guys enjoyed it. So we'll meet again for the
Yeah.
Halloween special next game. Going back to Corinth.
Loving to have these. I love the focus on the cult on this game. It's something that I really enjoy exploring.
Good.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I wanted to move away
Something we haven't
from.
done a lot of, admittedly,
Yeah, I wanted to
this
make
game
this one
so far.
give you something a little more personal to focus on.
A bit further away, a bit smaller scale on the city vampire politics and all the stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Been good.
All right, so you guys. Okay. Appreciate you guys listening for all that. Hope you enjoyed it. Uh, Next session is going to be a Halloween special, so we will be going back to Corinth. Session after that, we're getting back to our normal game. So, thank you guys. Have a great evening.